Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the cafe. How's everybody doing this lovely night?
Great.
Hello.
Fantastic.
This is
Hello.
great.
Yeah. Yeah, welcome on in. The
The
member
temperature's really nice in here.
is it? I keep it a nice cool
Is it? Yes.
67 degrees.
67.
Ooh,
Yes,
I like
and I ate a
67.
lot of the
Temperature.
strawberries out of the bowl in the back. They were a little
It was
crunchy.
67.
I think they're
66,
a little
you liar.
expired.
Sorry, I think those were display.
Oh my god.
You ate styrofoam.
Sorry, those are wax. They're styrofoam? Oh, never mind.
Styrofoam? Oh, it kind of melted in my mouth,
Sora,
funny enough.
Sora, they're always a little wax on the details. So
Yeah. Well, all right, lesson learned.
Yeah.
Don't eat display objects. All right.
Are you saying that this ice cream in front of Trixie is also wax?
Yes.
And what are you,
Oh
a
my
sheep?
God, I didn't try eating that.
that's a shame mine are real.
Oh.
The awkward silence. That was great.
But yeah, welcome on in, everyone, to the Lunar Lab Cafe. And this week we have the members of Team Starlight, Shino, Sora, and Trixie. Would y'all like to properly introduce yourself and talk a little about what you all do?
Yeah,
Sure.
Sora, why don't you take us in?
Oh, goodness gracious. Well, thank you kindly. I'm Sora Starlight. I'm a variety VTuber streamer. I stream over on Twitch, Twitter, and YouTube. So you can catch me on any platform that feels nice and cozy for you. I am very chaotic. I like to have lots of fun. Just having fun is the goal. That's pretty much my shtick. And, I like having things thrown at me. And, sometimes I take cold showers, with the lights off, and I just sit in the tub and think about life, but that's where I do my best thinking. Also, I chased a jelly donut down the road today. So I think that's about all you need to know for now.
Sounds good.
Thank you.
Yeah, sounds
Thanks
good.
for having me.
I'll let you go next, Trixie. I'm trying to process Sora's information in my brain
That's
right
fine.
now.
I can go ahead and go next. Hello, everybody. My name is Trixie Velvet. I'm a Velveteen Rabbit. I like to do variety streams. I like to talk with people. I like to hang out with other people. I'm always open for a conversation, and I'm always willing to put the spotlight on others if I ever need it. And I'm always up for a good time. I do variety streams and anything that can be new that I would like to try out. But yeah, I also love Sonic the Hedgehog and many 2D games like on the Nintendo and whatnot since I was young. And sometimes I like to challenge myself, like bring up games that I didn't finish as a kid, or even my dad couldn't finish as a kid, and try to conquer them. So just fun things like that. And yeah, I like meeting all of you. Thank you for coming by. And Matthew is my brother, everybody. I love him to death. So
And I am the static superstar, Shino the Wolf. Everybody loves to say it with me in chat. Ah, woohoo! I am also a variety Sonic VTuber streamer. I do music. I play all types of games, especially platformers, like Sonic the Hedgehog, Mega Man X, Mario, etc., etc. I'm all about good times and positive vibes. I like to put smiles on faces whenever I'm live, whether I'm singing. It doesn't matter what I do. I'm all about changing people's lives with a positive attitude. And my favorite thing to do with streaming is just knowing that people are going to come in, they're going to enjoy seeing me and hearing what I have to say, and at the end of the day, hopefully, if they have a bad day, they're going to leave with a smile. But yeah, that's who I am, and I'm honored to be on your show, Matthew. Thank you so much for having me.
Heck yeah. It's nice to have you all here. Ooh.
That's a pleasure.
Thank
all
you
mine.
again.
Yeah, you are my brother Wolf. have to be here for you.
God, wait, you're both wolves?
Yeah.
Go figure.
Oh my god.
I thought Ari was a
I
wolf.
have to process this. Wait, what? There's three?
You're gonna sleep with one eye open tonight, Matthew.
Hugging my pillow tight.
Oh yeah, you better
Exit
bite that
life.
pillow too.
Yeah.
Well, Matthew sleeps in a big bed with their wife, so I don't know what you're
Uh,
talking about.
I have to find that out the hard way.
Yeah.
Trust me. You think you're showing off your race car bed to your friend, and then they just drop bombs on you. Ooh, I have a wife. Ooh, I have a big bed. Ooh, would you? Yeah. Ooh, would you do that? Put it on one of your fancy credit cards. Is it American Express?
Also, yeah, Mr. Comment, we got to throw in the Metallica reference.
Nice.
I mean, of course.
Yeah. But yeah, today's topic we'll be talking about Sonic Adventure 2 in general. So I guess first off, what's everyone's thoughts on Sonic Adventure and any fond memories you have growing up with the game?
Have to speed run it
Oh.
in an upcoming Friday or so.
Sonic Adventure 2, though, right? Is that what?
Yeah,
You,
Sonic Adventure
yeah.
2.
Okay. Gotcha. Oh, gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
I can mention some of the first memories I've had with that, if you want.
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah.
Even before
Mhm,
the game came out, I was super hyped for it. I remember I was in high school at the time, and I was always going to the computer lab. I was always researching it. I was super excited to be playing, both teams. I was telling my brother about it. I was like, hey, the game's coming out soon. And they were super excited. They knew I was coming home because I was like in a private school. And I was coming home when it was coming out. So we were super hyped. And as soon as the plane landed, I thought for sure I was gonna get it. Um, and my mom had actually gotten it prior before, she picked me up. And she went to Toys R Us to pick it up. And she asked the lady there at Toys R Us if they had actually Sonic the Hedgehog Battle 2. And the lady who was, because she couldn't find it in the store, she's like, that's the box I'm opening right now. So she gave her the game. And literally, my mom came home and we were able to play it on the GameCube. So I just remember, just the first few seconds on the tiny little TV we had that the GameCube was hooked up to. We just see the helicopter up in the sky, and then Sonic bursts out of the copter. And me and my brother are just so wowed by it. We're just like, you see his coolness. You see, I was just like, no, talk about low budget flights, no food or movies. I'm out of here. It was just like, that's when the adventure began. And it was just a magical time to actually see Sonic and play Sonic for the first time because we loved Sonic, but we weren't able to play Sonic. So Sonic Adventure 2 Battle was like the first game we've ever played for Sonic. And it just brought our lives to a whole new world that we just wanted to continue. My brother loved Shadow. I loved Sonic, and it was like a match made in heaven for both of us. We knew what we liked. And yeah, that's like the first time we ever saw SA2. But I could describe more later on. But that's just to me is like the first introduction to SA2.
Mm-hmm.
And it will always stay in my mind like that.
That's cute. Actually, the fact that you got to go home and experience that with family,
Mm-hmm.
and all that good stuff.
Right.
That always makes memories more powerful. I feel like when you're sharing it with family or friends, at least in some capacity. So,
Yeah.
Shino, you should take the microphone.
Oh, should I? Well, put
Yeah,
it in my hand.
I want to hear your story. Well, all right, hang
Wait,
on.
Where
Wait.
is it?
I'm hanging
Come on.
on the edge of tomorrow.
Okay, yeah, here. Okay, our
Live and
hands
learn,
touched.
Sora.
There, good enough. Well, what's the sound? Imagine the breath of live and learn. Na, 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 living
Like-
on the edge of my butt. Anyway,
I'm
yeah, go ahead.
I'm used to this Sora
Yes.
Starlight. Sora Starlight, everybody. So my first experience with Sonic Adventure 2 was actually just after I had moved out of my parents' home. I had moved away from my mom and my dad, my stepdad technically, and I had moved in with my grandparents on my biological father's side of the family. So one day I was invited to come and spend the night at my biological father's house, and at the time he was married to my now former stepmom, and she had a son of her own, and his nickname was Beetle. We called him Beetle because I think the story was like he ate a beetle when like at one point, and he just kind of got stuck with that nickname. I'm not I don't remember the 100% the story, but anyways, so I come on over to visit, and kiddo wants me to come to his room and play a game with him. He had a Nintendo GameCube in his house, and so of course, first thing we did was he had Super Smash Brothers Melee, so me and him would play the game together, and I had to go easy on him, and and not to make him
Easy.
feel too bad, and kick his butt, but we had a really good time. But then I noticed that he had a Sonic game, and it happened to be Sonic Adventure 2 Battle. And so he went to take a nap. He was really, really tired. So I popped the game into the GameCube, and I was like, I'll try this out, see if I like it. Because I love Sonic the Hedgehog. It's like I've never played this game before. In fact, I didn't even know that this game existed. And this was 2002 when this happened. So I believe it was 2002 when the GameCube port came out, if I remember correctly. I could be wrong. I don't remember if it was late 2001, early 2002. But anyways,
I will Google.
yeah, Google that for me, please.
I believe it was
Yeah,
December 2001, by the way.
Was it
Yeah.
December? Okay. Well, I played it
December 20th,
mid
2001.
I played it mid 2002. And I remember putting it in and starting it up, and I was immediately blown away by the intro, live and learn. And then the menu starts up and you hear that riff. I'm like, oh, this music is fire. I'm like, this is cool. And it's Sonic. And next thing you know, I start the game up. I go right into the hero chapter, and City Escape starts. And after that, and I heard that song, I was hooked. I was immediately hooked. I sat there and I played through the entire game for hours on end. I only took a break a couple of times just to get something to eat, but I went right back to it, and I literally played the entire game in one night, and I was just so blown away by it, and I instantly was a fan of it. That eventually, after I went back home to my grandparents' house, they eventually got me my own GameCube, and it came with my own copy of Sonic Adventure 2 Battle, and I have been obsessing over that game ever since. It's a fantastic game. So that was my first memory, and that's how I found out about it. And it's definitely had a lasting impact on my life, because it is still to this day my favorite 3D Sonic game of all time.
Heck yeah.
Aw.
That's sweet. A lot of powerful memories there too.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Am I going next?
Yep, it's you have the floor.
Okay. All right. I have the floor. Okay. So
Make sure you put it back
one
later.
day suddenly I always forget to. Thank you. I will try to remember. Yes. So one day suddenly I was awake, and I got out of my bed and was like, huh, I have some money, and I'm gonna go get a game. I have a GameCube. I need a game. I had Mario Sunshine, and I'm like, that's not good enough. And I heard Sonic Adventure 2 Battle had come out, which apparently I just checked. Like in America, it was February 2002. Japan got it December 2001. Those lucky guns. It's the reverse now. We always get it first now. Ha!
Yeah,
How the
because
tides
we
have
love Sonic.
turbo-tamed.
We love
Right.
Sonic. Japan doesn't
Yeah.
really know Sonic all that much now. It's just like, yeah.
That's it in a nutshell. Like not even being like bad about it. It's just we are the number one like market for Sonic. But anyway,
It's like
so
Sonic's dad is Japanese, and Sonic's mom is American, and it's just like Sonic wants to hang out with mom more,
Wow, that's the way to
Hanging out
put
with
it.
mom. So there was a divorce, and then mom got the primary custody.
right.
Yo,
Mom took the
here
kids.
we go. Here we go. But
It
you know
sounds
what?
so bad. I'm so sorry. God, go on, Sora.
Yeah, well, it's because our dad in Japan, they didn't want the freedom fighters or anything. So
Ooh.
teehee. Okay, so I knew like I wanted a Sonic game because I was severely lacking those at the time. So now mind you, I came from the 90s era of Sonic, and I hadn't been able to play any of the 3D games because I didn't get a Dreamcast, and I just gotten a GameCube as, I'm pretty sure it was Christmas. Anyway, and I had Smash Brothers, and again Mario Sunshine. So I was like, all right, let's go to Toys R Us, and there was Sonic Adventure 2 Battle. I was like, oh my. And then I was like, this is the other hedgehog. It's Sonic has a clone. And I didn't know anything until I was like, that is a clone, or that's his brother. I don't know. Why also he looks noodly. Why are they all long? Now, because mind you, again, I was 90s. Suddenly you have a huge overhaul of a franchise you've been following since you were a kid. Well, I was still a kid. I was like a teenager anyway at that point. But anyway, but I was 6 years. Hang on. I think I was 6 when I got Sonic 1 on the Genesis, right? So I grew up in that classic era, and then like not even a decade later, the cast has been overhauled, and they got multicolored eyes and noodle arms that are really long. Anyway, so I was like, interesting, and I bought it. Oh, so yes, I went, and then I went home.
And I bought it. Ends.
And
Listen,
then I
this isn't
bought
me
it.
What?
with Frontiers. Your story doesn't
You
end
sound
at
like
I
a-
bought it.
You sound like a
Yeah.
certain comedian who ended up like drunk and saw a gate and was just like, I have never seen a gate that large before. And then I woke up at home. It's like,
Then suddenly I was awake. And I knew I was in for an adventure, a Sonic adventure. So yes, so little did I know though that I was literally on my own Sonic adventure going to Toys R Us, and I got it. And that was the fact where you had to get like a ticket and go up to like the command tower in a Toys R Us that they had in the front of the store
Ooh.
to retrieve your actual software purchase. That's how they rolled. So anyway, fast forward, I get home and everything, and I busted out, and this is where Shino just gave me some chills when he was recounting his experience. It's like, yes, I put it in, and suddenly well, first of all, the first thing you see is like Shadow. His eyes open. He's up on like the Golden Gate Bridge, not the
right.
Golden Gate Bridge, and
Radical
it's like
Highway.
dun 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 near, and it's like Sonic, Shadow, and some other people. So anyway, and then you get to the intro on the title screen, and it's like, whoa, 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 what is that? Those words that are in my song, like lyrics. I was like, oh my gosh. And then it was like, oh my god, and then I got Team Hero and Dark, and I'm just like, oh my god. And so I was getting all overload, and I'm like, oh man. And it was like, insert memory card, idiot. And I was like, oh yeah. So I did that. And so I get to City Escape, and you get the cutscene and everything, and then you're just, you're falling. And I was like, oh my god. And then when it's like rolling around at the speed of sound, got places to go, got places to something, my heart. And I'm just playing through the level, and it's just, I'm just like, this is my first 3D Sonic game. Okay, people. Okay. And this is immense for me. And I'm immediately so happy. And then I get to treasure hunting. And then I get to treasure hunting. And then I meet Rouge and everybody, and So and I'll save other details for later, but as we get through the conversation. But yeah, but that first hour with the game was just like, what in the fruitcake is happening to my life here? Like and a lot of people I think were a little like, well, okay, classic to modern era. Like I went from the classic, and now Sonic's all different, and now there's this like black and red like gamer hedgehog, references
Gaming
gamer
PC.
gamer PC called Shadow the Hedgehog. And so I was just overwhelmed. I had a good time. I was just laying on the floor with a pillow looking up at that big tube TV as it crackled and made static and whatnot and stuff. And just real positive experience on the GameCube, so.
Heck yeah.
And then my mom came in and told me to clean my room.
I hate when that happens.
I was like, Mom, I'm playing the hedgehog game. I don't care. I don't know why she was deep. She's not deep. She has, but she was just like,
why you saying that kind of makes me think of like, I don't know, Cartman from South Park. He's like, me man.
That's probably what I was channeling unintentionally. Yeah, it's funny. I wasn't thinking that, but that's probably what that was from. That was subconscious. Like, Mom, I'm playing the hedgehog. I don't care. Pause it. Now that was thankfully still the era where you could pause a game and like actually get up.
Yeah.
You know, and not
Yes.
have anything wrong. Not have
we
be
live in the-
online or anything.
We live in the era now where moms can understand that you cannot pause the game. So
Yeah, especially with a lot of games nowadays having, online play, and especially when you're already online with people, there is no pausing.
Yeah, I had to explain that to her when I got Battlefield 1942 on my PC, and she's like, "Can you pause that?" I'm like, "I can't." She's like, "What do you mean?" I'm with people. Like, what people? I'm like, in here. That's a computer. I'm like, no, I'm on Connect. Anyway, so good time.
Glorious.
Quite glorious.
no, Mom, I'm not playing by myself, and I can't pause the game because I'm playing with other people.
Wait, what? Who's in there with you?
God, my
Another
parents
South
when it
Park
came to
reference.
my
Sorry.
parents when it came to video games, before the GameCube era, like they had there was this whole thing about like, don't let your kids sit in front of the TV too long, don't let your kids play video games for too long, it'll damage their brain. So my mom would actually limit us to 2 hours of TV a day and 1 hour of video games a day for the longest time. Eventually she stopped doing that, but oh my god, it was torture. Like, imagine trying to get through N64 and PlayStation era video games with a 1 hour time limit. It was torture. It was absolute torture. Like, I'm trying to play Mario 64 and it's like, I'm so close to getting the star. Your time is up. No!
Shino,
You got an
just
hour?
imagine if you had just a quarter of that. Some people only got 15 minutes.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, and those are moms just getting stuff from like talk shows during the show. Like, now you should limit your kids to like a very amount of time on the TV and because you blah, blah, blah. Whatever.
Oh
Good
yeah,
times.
my mom was the type of mom who watched that kind of stuff growing up as a kid. Like, she was big into like talk shows and
Dr.
Judge
Phil.
Judy and Dr. Phil. Yeah, that like that type of
Whatever
stuff.
era.
I hated it. I hated that stuff so much. It's like when, especially like if I was staying home from school or it was summer vacation and she was up early in the morning and she was watching that stuff. I hate it. It's like, I just want to watch Fox Kids, man. I just want to watch I want to watch Sonic Sam. I want to watch Sailor Moon. Like, I don't want to watch this.
You gotta admit though, sometimes those shows you watch when you were a kid, like The Price is Right, you did look forward to.
Oh, those were fun. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, that was. Yeah,
Well, in my
those were
era,
fun.
it was
line of it
Oprah
anyway was a good one.
Winfrey,
Yeah.
the Maury, Ricky Lake, Montel Williams, Sally Jesse Raphael. Yeah, so Jerry Springer was a little more extreme, whatever. But the other ones,
Oh
all
yeah,
these daytime
I was
talk shows.
barred. I was barred from watching Jerry Springer, The Simpsons, WWF Monday Night Raw during the Attitude Era. But whenever I went over to my grandma's house, and my uncle, he was always watching Jerry Springer, and well, especially WWF Monday Night Raw. The Attitude Era in the '90s. Oh man, the things they did on TV.
Oh.
Woo, you cannot get away with that stuff today. Also,
No,
Ari,
and
you mentioned Whose Line Is It Anyway? That is still to this day one of my favorite shows of all time. Oh my god.
Yeah, I watched that with you in New York City when I was over last. Yeah, we were just watching a
you
random episode. Yeah.
Yeah, you were laughing your butt off.
Yeah. Well, it's one of those shows I knew existed, but I never really watched. But back to the point, like I never had
Back to Sonic
limitations on my
Adventure.
games. Yeah, but I never had like limits per se. Like, I was kind of outdoorsy anyway for the most part. I'd ride my bike and go all around and stuff like that, and I tried to make friends with the neighbor's dog. But I would, like, my mom would never really get on my case, like, because there was a good balance. Like, I'd play my video games, I'd go outside and whatever. Like, there was never, okay, you've had enough, get out of here. And plus, usually I didn't have a TV in my room until I was like in high school. So like, it didn't even matter. Like, she didn't have to like kick me off anything, because like
Right.
the limitations were like, okay, I'm home, bye. and take the TV over. But anyway, I digress. Yeah.
Ari, you got any fond memories of Adventure 2?
No, but I have a
Uh,
lot of clips of me screaming, pissing, and moaning about it. Okay, so it started
Perfect.
in a funny little store called FYE, or better known as For Your Entertainment. There is a lot of kiosks over in a mall called Great Lakes Crossing. To my knowledge, it's still there.
Huh.
So I picked it up because I've only seen like 3D Sonic on online now and then. And so I picked it up and I was like, oh, black and red guy, huh? Let's see what he's like. And I was like, he was cool because, of course, their kids thought he was cool. And so I picked it up, and some kids were lined up behind me, and they watched me like go through the stage, and they were like cheering because they'd all struggle with the stage. But for me, it kind of clicked.
Hmm.
Then fast forward, like this is obviously like when it got ported to, GameCube. Most like I feel like that's a lot of our first exposure to it was like actually GameCube.
Yeah.
Like if it wasn't GameCube, it was definitely Dreamcast, but Dreamcast was the one console my family skipped. Like for the most part, we had like most of the consoles. We only skipped like GameCube, not GameCube, Dreamcast, and that was it. But I just think I feel off when I play it on Dreamcast. But I played it. I liked it. Didn't do a
so
lot of
your
Child
family is
Garden.
full of gamers too?
I don't know if they were gamers or they just identified that just games were just something I like to do. Like my game hours on school days were more lax than a lot of your guys, it would seem. Because like if my homework was done, I was allowed 2 hours. It was like it was more like how are my grades doing and how much homework did I have? So
Yeah, I had similar. Well, I mean, I would stress about homework. If I was assigned any homework, I'd be like, crap, my night's ruined. And then I would desperately try to get it done on the school bus home, or something like that. So, because I went to bed like usually 9:30, 10 most of the time. Even as a teenager, I was like, nah, I'm just like that's my habit. I just went to bed. So it's like I would get home like 4:30 or something, barely, or 4 o'clock, or yeah, around that time I get home like 4:30. Anyway, so it was like not a lot of time to do much anyway. So it's like
That is true.
it's not even about like I had limits. It's like, well, I have so little time before I have to go to sleep anyway. So, you know,
I would get my homework done, but I remember as a kid, even to this day as an adult, I still feel like that homework in most cases is one of the stupidest things that you can do. It's like they're stuck at school for what, 8-ish hours
9,
every
something
day,
like that.
learning your crap. I mean, yes, maybe give them something to study, for like a test the next day or something like that. But like, don't pile on so much homework. I never ever understood that. But oh my god, yes, sometimes some of the stuff they gave you, especially if it was a teacher who sucked, like they would pile all this work on you and it would take away like most of your day. You basically spend all day at school schooling, you'd be at home and you'd be like trying to get your homework done so that you could at least enjoy a little bit of happiness,
It's so
but
silly.
I thought it was very silly. Now, lucky enough, once I got to high school, my high school offered a program for kids who had disabilities. For those of you guys who are listening right now, I am diagnosed medically with ASD and ADHD. On top of that, I've had it my entire life. And one of the things that I was lucky to get is that one of our periods, so we would have 7 periods in high school. One of our periods for kids like me, we got to have a what was called a study hall, where basically we take any of the assignments that we have and we would spend the whole hour that we were in that class doing the work or getting help or studying or whatever it is that we needed to do in that class. So most of the time in high school, if I had homework, mainly for like the first 4 periods before I went to that study class, I would get it all done with help from my teachers. I would get it all done. And then I would only have to do very little homework when I got home. And most of the time my teachers would tell my parents, he's done. So so I was able to enjoy things a little bit more during my times in high school. So that gave me more time for, like video games and TV and movies and stuff like that. And it was I was very, very thankful for that.
Heck yeah.
So This is also so. I also picked up Sonic Adventure 2 when around the time I was also getting off the. It's when I started like playing the Mega Man Legends games. That's big surprise. I'm bringing up Mega Man. So I started exploring a lot when I started playing Adventure 2 because of the power ups. So the power ups just encouraged like that style of exploration more. I found myself liking the mech levels more than the speed stages. Funny enough. And I was okay with the treasure hunter stages until, let's all say it together, the worst stage in the game, Mad Space.
Oh,
Uh-huh.
Right.
No,
Yep.
no, this is how you punish your fucking kids. You make them play Mad Space, you make them do all 5 missions. They're not allowed to leave that spot until they A rank all 5 missions. That's how you punish your kid.
that's terrible.
Dear God.
I mean,
I don't know, like
I wouldn't even go far as to punish them that far. I think doing it once and making them understand how hard it is probably punishment enough.
like the other stages
Oh,
weren't
for
bad.
sure.
Like
This is what your
the first
this is what your life is
like
gonna be like. You're gonna play Mad Space. You gotta behave.
no, the other stages were bad. Like Rouge and Knuckles' first stage were fine. Was Rouge Age quarters or was Knuckles Age quarters? I keep getting them mixed up.
No, Knuckles was Death Chamber.
Wait. Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
A quarters and Disc Chamber, those are fine. I like them in their own regard. Mostly because me and Digibot used Death Chamber for a lot of visual references when they made Death Chamber into Second Life for their little event. I think that was like 2 or 3 years ago.
Hmm.
And say what was after that? That was. Are we heading into Meteor Herd Mad Space yet? Or no?
I have it lined up where we'll talk about like stages later because I know there's some definitely
I just
interesting.
go through the stages.
There's definitely some interesting levels to talk about later.
I know. I'm just going.
Yeah.
I'm just going like making like a quick like rapid fire just opinions of each stage.
Yeah,
But like they're fine. The sunglasses were cool, but I'm not a fan of how the sunglasses and treasure scope are implemented. But visually, they're fun. We'll talk about that more later. The mech stages were fun. I appreciated them more after I got to finally play Sonic Adventure DX. Like I see where the inspiration is from,
Mhm.
and I'll be honest, like as like on your first time around, it's just kind of fun playing as Eggman because you get to be the villain for a little bit,
Yeah,
and plus it's just this might be the autism kicking in, but it's really fun to just rack up combos.
combos are fun.
I kind of
Yeah.
I kind of want to
Right.
find a mod that makes it so you have a small timer and you've got to build up your time by building combos like you did with Gamma. I feel like that might be fun,
That'd be fun.
Like a
especially
challenge
with
mode or
weapons.
something.
Especially with weapons bed. Weapons bed, you go crazy with that.
Hmm.
And
I think I
then
could have
speed
just done
stages.
without that high pitched sound locking on to stuff.
And the
Oh,
speed
you mean?
stages were also fun.
Yeah, but more like something like that. Same
Well,
difference.
if you were making a noise, it got cut out by your Discord filter.
Oh no!
Yeah.
All right, Shino's good. Whatever Shino did.
Well, he did.
Last one, and then last but not least, the speed stages. Speed stages were fun. I kind of wish there was more use for the grind rails. Like I feel like back then I was like, these are cool. Nowadays I feel like, yeah, they're there. Like there's not really a reason to grind on a lot of rails. Like most of the times you can just ignore them.
Yeah.
Yeah, more or
How
less.
many of you? We'll talk about this later, but how many of you took the lower pass on Green Forest for Sonic?
I did nothing
Towards the beginning.
consciously. I just got through the stage. I'll be honest.
Nowadays I always take the upper pass because it feels like it's kind of faster. There's a reason why I care about speed, and it's Matthew's fault.
Why is it
Because,
his fault?
Because he had an incentive to have me speedrun Sonic Adventure 2, and he met it the first day of SummerSlam.
Yep.
Ah.
So I guess
I
he's learning to
see.
speed run it either this Friday or next Friday. Probably next Friday.
So it's only recently.
Yeah. I have speed run it once or twice. I had a race with one of our friends not recently, it was like late last year. So
Okay.
I have an appreciation for it. I haven't done a lot of Shao Garden, funny enough, outside like a one charity thing, but that was me making shows for people without any knowledge of what the hell is going on with Shao Garden. Like it was way deeper than I thought it was.
You know, I never got around to the Chow Garden, like in my younger life or my now life. Anytime I play, I'm just like, I never bother. Like, I don't know. It's just the format. It's like, cause I know it's gonna be stuck within this game. I can't do anything with it outside of it. You know, obviously if we were on the Dreamcast and you had the VMU and that was pretty cool, you know, in that capacity anyway. But yeah, like I like if I was to play Adventure 2 right now, I probably would not bother with the chows because I'm just like yeah, it's gonna be
I feel
stuck
like
within this whole gaming session, you know.
I do feel like the game is the kind of game where every person should 100% it at least once to like generally feel all the game has to offer. Because I do feel like not every game has that level. I feel like at this point,
Mhm.
SA2 is so cemented into the fandom that everyone should experience every one of its categories to really know if they actually like the game. Because
Yeah, I
I've been known
100%ed
to
it.
make.
Mhm.
Oh, did you? Okay,
Well, with my
so
Game Shark.
you fucking cheater.
Oh, I'm sorry, Action Replay.
Matthew,
Same
throw her the shield,
shit.
kick her off the show.
Yeah. Like I beat
Maybe
the
Hold on.
game,
squirrely later.
but then I
Yeah,
wanted to
yeet.
play the Green Hill Zone. Oh yeah, I've been yeeted. Well, where's my legs?
You have
There's
Cut 'em
where
off.
I
They're
had the
going.
legs.
you have legs?
We need something for.
I do. I
Legs
thought.
are overrated.
Well, I went.
My-
Everybody, I'm
my
going
sword.
to the restroom. Hi. Oh, the restroom's down here now.
What are you doing there? No,
Touch my nose again, please.
Why does it sound like a
I do.
clown when we squeeze the nose?
I do want to ask a quick. I do want to ask a quick rapid fire a question for everybody.
Right.
Is
Okay.
list what you like about the game. List the stages of game, like the stage types, in order from your favorite to you don't like it. Let's start. Let's start with Trixie, then Shino, then Sora, then Matthew, then me.
Okay, City Escape, Metal Harbor, Radical Highway. I want to say.
What do I meant by more like the stage types, like Speed, Treasure Hunter, Mech Stage, like that.
Oh, Speed, Treasure Hunter, and then Mech Stage.
Okay, Shino.
Who's next?
Speed, same speed, treasure hunter mech.
Sora.
So Speed, Mech, Hunter.
Okay.
Same as Sora, Speed, Mech, then Treasure Hunter.
I'm also the same Speed, Treasure Hunter, Mech. Okay, so what I'm noticing is everyone's go-to is Speed, but
Yep.
I've noticed there's like a weird mixture of people who prefer Mech over Treasure Hunter. That's actually interesting.
I think I just enjoy the treasure hunting. Oh, I'm sorry, Trixie. You can go first, my dear.
I was about to say I'm the type of player that likes to look around and just explore my area and try to find secrets if I can. And that's a big strength of mine. So Treasure Hunter is definitely something I look forward to.
That makes sense.
I like looking for like all the clues and whatnot. Mech, there's nothing wrong with Mech, but it's not like my top go-to. Like I'll play it, but it's not really my what I'm really looking forward to. Like when I see a Knuckles or Roo stage in SA2, it's like, yes, I get to uncover something. And I'm looking everywhere. I'm like, where is it? Where is it? I'm just like, I'm focused. I'm glued to it. And
You
I
like
that
the
include
unlock
mad
a new
space?
item, and I'm just like,
Wow.
especially like in the space zones, I have no problem with the space zones actually. I can
you,
look all day long if I needed to, and I'm still okay with it.
you like the
It's just who I
RNG
am.
aspect of the treasure hunter stages, the RNG
I
locations.
do. I do like it. One of my favorite stages in that game, believe it or not, is when Rouge actually gets all the Chaos Emeralds. Mainly because she's like the only one who gets the Chaos Emeralds. And I love her finding them because that's something I relate to back when I was a lot younger, when I was playing the original games. Was like, oh, I need to find the Chaos Emeralds again. And that just, clicks in my mind, just like, yeah, they're hitting all the right boxes. So when I have something to connect to, it usually is a positive in my book. So
I
'Cause
think I can agree with you on that.
I
Like, I
wondered
can agree.
about that with you because I remember a couple weeks ago you were playing Rogue Legacy, so I just assumed you liked roguelikes. And because of the format of treasure hunter stages, I guess that makes sense to why you like them.
yeah, and it sometimes when you're playing something like Sonic CD for like the first time and you're just exploring all the secrets, someone's like, "Why are you finding all these secrets? How? How?" I'm just like, I'm just enjoying the game. Can
Never
I
heard of
enjoy
this
the game?
story.
Yeah,
This
you
is
never heard the story
Trixie's always
because
been
you were
like that.
there.
well, I plead the fourth damn Chaos Emerald. Okay, listen, you. Um,
Actually, it'd be the fourth time stone in that case.
in the time zone. Yeah, I for those that don't know, she's referencing this one time. She's like, "Hey, Sora, I'm gonna play Sonic CD for the first time, but I don't know if I'm gonna get all the things." And I think and what she's which then she went and she did it. She did it anyway. Oh wow, that was weird. I will not be silenced. So she's like, I don't know if I can do the thing. And then she did the thing so effortlessly and got the stones. And I'm just like, this is malarkey.
I remember that like Sora's literally like just how and I like whenever I watch a Trixie stream like and I love it especially when she plays classic games like she will take her time, she will explore, and she will somehow even if it's a game she's never played before, find everything and get it all figured out. And I'm just like amazed at like how resourceful that she is when she does that kind of stuff. Like yeah, that Sonic CD playthrough was amazing to watch. And in fact, any retro game that Trixie does on her streams is always such a fun ride
Aw.
because she really
Yeah.
does take her time with them, and she's definitely the explorer type, like that's for sure. And not to promo to promo her, but I'm gonna do it anyway. Please check out Trixie on Twitch. Like watch her streams.
Aw.
They're so relaxing, so chaotic, and so retro, and it's fun. It's really fun.
Hey,
Just
hang on one second. Hang on one second. Hey, who ordered the glaze? Who
The
ordered
glaze.
the glaze?
Oh, that was me.
Because man,
Glaze
Trixie's
donut?
getting it poured all over her right now. The glaze. I'm just messing.
orange
I'm just
the orange cream glaze.
Yes, the orange creamsicle glaze. I'm sure it exists.
Yes.
No, I second what Shino says. Trixie's really good at finding nooks and crannies. Like, Sonic CD I didn't grow up with because it was like I didn't have a didn't have a Sega CD. I don't. Did anyone in here have a Sega CD for the record?
Unfortunately not.
Nah.
Like a
So
CD's
you know,
nuts.
I will say real quick, I didn't own a CD, but when I worked at the game store, I did actually I got the chance to test out a Genesis CD 32X combination.
No
Oh,
way.
wow.
Yeah, it was
That's cool.
It was a very intense because I had to plug in 3 power bricks into an outlet somehow.
Oh my god.
Pretty wild.
But I got it working.
I still remember the AVGN introducing that and saying the Sega Genesis is basically on life support right now. It's got 3 different things connected to it. Let it die. And I'm like, oh my god.
There,
Worth
And
it.
just hearing you say that, Matthew, it's just like, oh my god, I would have loved to see this. I would have actually liked to see it at one point. Will we get a power surge? I don't know, but I'm excited to find out.
Excited to find out.
There's
Was
one
the
game
Sega
that
CD playable without a Sega Genesis?
No.
No.
Oh.
Well, unless you got like
Well-
one of those really interesting, like in Europe or Japan, they had like a combo unit that was a CD, Sega CD, and Genesis, but like they weren't mainline productions.
Oh.
Yeah, they're rare. Like Panasonic, I think, made one of all people. Hey, Panasonic. Now I get it.
Remember when
Just imagine you have those 4 bricks: the TV brick, your Sega Genesis brick, your Sega CD brick, and then your 32X brick. You got no more wall space to put any bricks, and your whole thing is bricked out. Don't let your game brick, though.
I see where you're going with this. I see what you're doing.
also,
There is one CD game that I want to play that I don't know if it's available in the States, but there's a specific Mega Man game that I haven't gotten to play. It's Super Adventure Rockman. Have you any of you heard of that one?
No.
No.
So it's a very interesting game. It's kind of like a storybook game, but it's also like one of those like point and click kind of games. It's very weird. It's the only game I haven't played that's never got to States.
there's a PlayStation port.
Oh, is there?
Yeah, I just looked it up. There's a PlayStation port.
Well, hot dog.
Mm-hmm.
But other than that
Yeah.
and CD, there wasn't really any other games on CD I cared about that much
What-
because they're mostly just like really weird movie games, right?
What about Woody?
Not all of them, right?
What's
Oh.
Woody?
Wild Woody!
Wild Woody, the pencil.
Wild Woody.
Wild
I
Woody.
heard Woody and my brain instantly went to Toy Story.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No, Wild Woody was a platformer. I think made by the Sega Technical Institute in America at the time.
Yep.
Oh, I remember. Yeah, all right, continue.
Yeah, it was like a 2D platformer where you played as a pencil. The entire gimmick was you would like doodle stuff to help you. But every time you doodled it, you would get a little bit shorter, which would make you faster and jump a little bit higher.
So you're losing mass to gain agility?
Yeah. And like the doodles would do stuff like you would like draw like Hercules or something and he would throw you, or you draw like something that would like throw a lightning bolt.
Like bridges and whatnot.
Yeah.
and cross or something. Yeah.
You could also find
It's just like your imagination to think of something would come to life to, Woody's.
also there was a hidden page you could find to draw a naked mermaid.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep,
Yo,
that was-
Sonic.
that-
Go ahead. Yeah.
that was like really hidden, just like, you would find, believe it or not, I think in the game Flicky, you would actually find out that Flicky actually had a lot of no content in there.
Oh yeah, I think you could find like a naked girl in like one of the
You
windows or something.
A naked girl in the windows.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What?
It was like on a certain
Yeah.
page, yeah. It was very possible to unlock, but you had to really be looking at the stage and find out, oh, that's a naked girl.
There's a reason Sega.
Oh.
There's a reason Sega's the reason we have ESRB right now.
Yes, that's a good point. Yeah, they would sneak a lot of stuff in, and the STI, this Sega Technical Institute in America, was always trying to put out like that 90s very 90s era content that was just like really just like pushing the envelope, like Ren and Stimpy, Nicktoons levels of trying to push it,
Well, the 90s
and
was-
because
Sorry, I wanted to add to what the 90s was.
Yeah.
The 90s was about gross out, what can you do to, make the other person kind of, like weasel and squirm and whatnot, and show it was cool, It was like
Well,
cool.
that's why you had,
squirm
like,
out, gross out,
Booger-
yeah.
yeah, you had like Booger Man or this Wild Woody, thing with hidden little whatevers and then Flicky, for the love of God, like hidden portraits that you could, like, if you were paying attention and you really looked at it hard enough, you'd be like, oh yeah, that's
Also,
that's neat.
while not Sega, the original Kirby actually has an entire level that's just a giant naked lady.
I did not know that.
Yeah.
That's on the Game Boy?
Yeah, It's it's one of the levels you have to fly up vertically. But if you look at a zoomed out map of the level, the blocks that you platform off of is very distinctly a very crude picture of a naked lady.
Let me.
Oh.
Here, I'll find it.
Chicks is like, all right, time to confirm.
Hold on, I'm grabbing it.
Turn off the safe search filter.
Oh, it's
But yeah,
Dreamland
as far as the
2.
Sega Genesis. Oh,
Dreamland 2.
Dreamland 2.
Yeah.
Okay.
Dreamland 2.
Yeah. But I'll put that in the side chat of the call we're in.
Oh, you're right.
Yeah.
I see it. I see it. Oh my god. Well, it's like you have a smiley face. You have like two platforms that look like her. And yeah.
Yeah.
You see a little like a little grabber at the bottom. This is like what?
Yeah.
I didn't do anything.
Whoa.
What was that? That was weird.
We got one in there.
Heck
Let's
yeah.
go.
Let's go.
uh,
Okay, but back to Sonic Adventure 2 Battle.
I was about to say, is it my turn to go down my memory lane of Adventure 2?
Yes.
You know
yes,
what?
it is.
Yeah, we've been talking. Shut up, it's Matthew's show.
That's Matthew and Ari's show.
Short little tense. Oh, I have actually a short one word story, like a little 10-second story.
Smack it.
So, how many of you had siblings that played that 2-player with you?
Not siblings, but it was something I would bring up with my
Thanks,
friends a lot.
So I had a little sister, and you wanna know how I annoyed the crap out of her in 2-player?
How?
Grind race.
I love Grind Race.
Ooh.
All I would do is grind on her rail, and she would just go feral and unironically cry to my mother, and I would get grounded for it.
Oh.
Yeah, yeah.
It was like one of those things where it's like she can hit me, slap me, say whatever she wants to me. Not a damn thing. I even like raised my hand, grounded for a week. But no, I would literally just that's why I got so good at rail hopping, is just to annoy the crap out of her.
Oh, that's funny.
All right, Matthew. Now I'm interested in your story because I don't think you were much. You were very young when Adventure Battle 2 came out. I think, right?
I was 6 when the game came out. Which I actually have a very weird history with the game because of that. So
Really?
yeah. So my first ever Sonic experience was Sonic Adventure on the launch day, because I had a family member who threw a launch party for the Dreamcast, and like a bunch of people just trying out the different launch games and stuff like that. And I got to try out Sonic Adventure and immediately got hooked to the Hedgehog. But the thing is, I knew of Sonic Adventure, but I, funny enough, didn't get it till after I got Sonic Heroes. I got it in like 2004. But it was like one of those games that kind of like I would remember it in passing until I eventually got it. Like I remember my parents took me to Toys R Us once. And one thing I remember mainly from that trip was, the GameCube just came out, and I got to see like gameplay of Luigi's Mansion and stuff like that. I was like, oh, this looks really cool. I want to play this.
Mm-hmm.
And
yeah,
for some reason, like there's a faint memory I have where we were passing like a bargain bin of like games they were just trying to get rid of, and there was a brand new copy of Sonic Adventure 2 in there for the Dreamcast.
Oh wow.
Yeah. Like, I just remember that in passing. I don't remember anything about it. I just remember looking at it. I think I asked my mom for it, and my mom's like, nah.
Mom, why?
Yeah.
Why? Right.
But after that...
How was she supposed to know that it was going to be a huge deal? I mean, come on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
fair enough. I mean,
Yeah. But the other thing that always stuck out with me before I got it was when the GameCube came out, on the back of the box for the GameCube, they would show, like, here are the games you could buy for your GameCube. like Luigi's Mansion, Wave Race, Pikmin. And I remember they had a picture for Sonic Adventure 2 on there, and for some reason it was just a close-up of Sonic standing in Metal Harbor. Like, it wasn't like him in an action pose or anything, he was just standing there looking at the camera like, yep, I'm here.
Great promotion.
Say Edo.
Yeah. But I eventually did get it. I got it used at GameStop, and I still have that copy to this day. I've not lost that copy at all. I still have it.
Oh, that's cool.
But I also got the strategy guide along with it. I loved reading strategy guides back in the day. And it was a weird strategy guide where it was the guide for Sonic Adventure 2, but then you would flip the book over, and the other side was a strategy guide for Sonic Advance.
Oh.
Yeah. I think I still have that somewhere too. But the Sonic Adventure was just like one of those games. I think as a kid I would like pretend I knew what I was talking about. Like, oh yeah, Shadow is flipping this thing, even though I knew nothing about Shadow. I was like, he's just this flipping guy.
Either, right? Yeah.
But when I eventually played it, I immediately got hooked. I loved everything about it. I'm probably one of the few that actually likes every aspect of the game, even the more aggravating parts of the game. Because I'm really good at the emerald hunting. The mech stages I have a lot of fun with, and then the speed stages, like, I just do the stupidest crap to get through the stages now. But the biggest thing for me was for the longest time I was stuck on the villain side because of the gimmicks confused me and also traumatized me.
Yeah. Oh no, in what way?
Traumatized.
So I didn't understand the concept of stealth as a child, and Egg Quarters terrified the crap out of me because of the giant mech beetle that chases you. Like that was the scariest thing to me as a child for some reason. Like, oh god, he's gonna shoot me.
This is fair. This is fair.
Surprise.
Surprise, right?
Yeah. Ah.
Oh god. That was
That was
in my
crisp.
butt.
Oh yeah. But actually, I didn't 100% the game until 2018. 2018 was the first time I collected all 180 emblems, and I did that on stream back when I first started my streaming career on Twitch.
Wow.
Hmm.
Oh,
That's quite some
interesting.
time.
Okay.
Yeah. And
That's awesome.
to this day, I own every copy. I did eventually get a Dreamcast copy. It's complete with the instruction booklet. I do have the GameCube copy I had as a kid, and of course I got it on PC, Xbox, PlayStation.
Nice.
God, I can't tell you how much people are willing to pay for a completed copy of SA2 from Dreamcast. Last time I checked, it was somewhere around the vicinity of $1,000-something. The game shop I went into.
Dang.
I
think
did find a Dreamcast copy of it at Video Games New York. I think it was a month ago, but unfortunately the cover wasn't in the best condition, and they were selling it for like $70. It's like I would, but
I got mine for
I
like
want it to be in better condition.
$30.
Nice. Oh,
Wow.
that's a good. You did well.
Yeah.
You know what? They still have at Video Games New York. They still have that copy of Sonic Adventure DX. It's $180.
Dang.
Brand new, factory sealed, never been opened.
Wow.
Dang.
Yeah, it's still
Dang.
there. I want to get it
Someday.
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 So, but what was your favorite part? Like, okay, so that was like that's a big memory in your life.
Yeah.
Sonic Adventure 2, and everything, and
And across
so, I mean,
3
like,
years.
where did you're right. It's and you see now that was interesting because you were 6 years old. I was 6 when I got my first Sonic game. And on the Genesis, Sonic 1. So the parallel there and just the dynamics of differences between the two games are so drastic, and for me, when I played Sonic Adventure 2 Battle, I felt like it was my first time again because it was so distinct from what I had grown up with. And the last full Sonic game that I had played at that point was like Sonic 3D Blast, which is wild because that was like 97 era, I believe, maybe 90.
I think it was
96,
95
97,
actually.
I don't know. Holy fruitcake. But whenever, 3D Blast was like the tail end era
96.
of the 96. Yeah, that sounds about right. So that was like the tail end there. And you know, so but yeah, but that changed so much of your life and the direction you were going. Like what from there on, like what was your like next big thing that involved Sonic in your life? Do you remember? Like what rabbit hole did that lead you down?
If I have each game, I probably have like a major memory for up to like maybe 2012. No,
12, and then you
2014,
so to speak.
No,
2014, yeah.
I've got an interesting memory on a game of 2014.
Oh my.
Yeah.
Do we need another whole podcast for that?
Maybe.
Maybe.
But probably not next, but it happened same time. Sonic Heroes was the very first game ever I actually got on launch date.
Ooh.
And
okay.
I remember I got that because that was the day. That was the day my mom had to do her taxes. So she took me to the mall to go to like a little tax shop to do her taxes, and she was like, "If you behave, we'll use some of the tax money to get the new Sonic game you've been wanting." So
Yay, go mom.
yeah. So obviously I behaved. We were there for a really long time though. Like when we got out, it was like 5 minutes till the mall closed. We booked it across the store to get to EB Games at the time, not GameStop.
EB,
wow,
Electronic
EB.
Boutique.
Yeah, we went into the EB Games like little seconds before they closed, and I was just like, I got the new Sonic game. That was such like a big deal. I got home and I got to boot it up and play it that night, and I was just having a blast, and it was fun.
GameCube edition, right?
Yeah, the GameCube edition.
Best edition.
PS2 was my dad's console, so I couldn't play it that often.
That's
Yeah, get that GameCube version.
Yeah. After that, I think my next memory.
I was gonna say, what was like the primary version people play for Heroes? Was it?
It was PS2.
Was it PS2? Like it? Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
that's honestly why a lot of people don't really have fond memories of Heroes, because like the PS2 port is fine, but it doesn't run as well. Load times are long, and there are glitches because of poor porting. Because it was made as a GameCube game first and a PS2 game last.
GameCube. That's the one I played the Heroes on.
Yeah.
It was like, this is amazing. And
Me
people were like,
too.
you like that game? Yeah, I like that game. I can't play that game as much as I never wondered why they would have such a hard time. And since you said that, it makes sense now.
Yeah. I remember I remember I actually played the Xbox port of it. I actually own a copy of the Xbox port of it. And I tried to play it on my Xbox 360 because Xbox 360 was backwards compatible, but oh boy, does that Xbox port not play well at all.
Yeah.
I'm like, did this have trouble on the original hardware? 'Cause I don't really hear people talk much about the Xbox version of the game.
I have the Xbox version. Funny enough, I've got a funny little thing to say about the Xbox version.
Yeah.
So on the cover of each copy of Sonic Heroes, they have a little tagline. On the GameCube, it says Sonic's brand new adventure. On PS2, it's like Sonic's first experience on the PlayStation 2. And then on Xbox, it says nothing. It's like, yeah.
Wonderful.
Xbox, we're nothing special.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
But the Xbox port of Heroes is actually pretty on par with GameCube. It's not that much worse. However, loading times are butchered on Heroes.
It was. I remember that.
Mm-hmm. But the only other thing I can note was it actually had sound effects that was missing from the GameCube version, funny enough. Like,
really?
Yeah.
Oh.
So if you play the special stage on like PS2, Xbox, or PC, the chows actually make little chow noises when they're throwing stuff at you. However, on the GameCube version, the chows only make
They don't say anything.
Yeah, on the GameCube, the Chows will make a noise when they first appear, but they won't make any more noises after that.
That is so weird.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. I wonder if that's a defect in the programming and the code that when they ported it, or don't tell me they forgot to put an asset file.
It could also
in the right directory. I don't know.
It could also be GameCube discs were actually really bad with audio files because of the small disc size. So they also could have cut it to like get a little extra space out of the disc.
Oh, interesting. Yeah. No, I've read similar things to that. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So Heroes is where it took you ultimately. That's cool. That's cool.
Mm-hmm.
Well, everyone has that starting point, so that's, it's immersive. Like from Sonic Adventure 2 Battle, I had a weird relationship where I was kind of off and on in the Sonic fandom at the time. But I think the next Sonic game I would play after that was the Mega Collection, but I don't think that counts necessarily. But
I think it counts. That's a great collection.
Yeah, I got to replay the classics at the time, which was really fun way of doing it. But I think I actually bought Shadow the Hedgehog. I did buy Shadow the Hedgehog, I think I played Sonic Rush on the DS though. I think that came out.
It came out the same time as Shadow.
Remember the dates. So okay, I think I got Rush first and was like, "Oh my gosh, so amazing!" But I digress. And then I did buy Shadow, but yeah. So that like Sonic Adventure 2 Battle was like really that cornerstone of the 2000s for me.
Mm-hmm.
Really, and I have good memories with it. Even though I got very frustrated with some of the stages and stuff like that, but I'll hold off until you prompt us for that leg of the conversation. But
yeah,
yeah,
what I was gonna go to is for after Adventure 2, since Heroes I got before Adventure 2. My next game definitely was Shadow the Hedgehog, and my memory with that is I got that around launch thanks to my grandfather giving me a huge chunk of change that he was saving up just for me.
Ooh.
Yeah, he gave me like a giant SpongeBob themed piggy bank. He's like, "This is yours. Merry Christmas." So I was like, "Oh." But I remember I was playing through it, and I died and heard Shadow swear. And I immediately ran downstairs with my dad. I'm like, Shadow the Hedgehog just said a swear word. And like, yeah. And like, I showed my dad, I like jumped off the cliff again. I was like, see, he says a swear word. And I think my dad was just pretending to be oblivious so that I didn't get in trouble. He's like, I don't hear him saying anything. Just keep playing.
He's protecting you.
Yeah.
Like,
I was like,
son, you're gonna get this game taken away from you.
Yeah.
Where's that damn fourth Chaos Emerald?
But that's probably my next major one.
There should be a mod for Shadow the Hedgehog where every time he says a swear word, you just replace it with.
That'd be amazing.
That'd be fun.
I need to see if there is
I'll get on that.
I need to see if there's a PC port of Shadow. There's a PC port of Heroes. So.
Yeah,
so we need you to play it again so you can reenact that one clip you have.
I really hope that Heroes gets the same recompiled stuff done to it that Unleashed got, because like you can have a good run through with the PC version that's put together. It's not ideal. It's kind of messy, but once you do it, it works. It works.
I find it funny when Matthew's like aggressively typing and his mouth is just moving with the sounds of the keyboard. I'm like, I didn't know you speak fluent keyboard.
Yeah. There is no PC port. However, there is a mod of the GameCube port called Reloaded. I do remember people talking about that a while back.
Yeah.
Anyway, back to Adventure 2. I guess first topic I have listed down is the whole heroes versus villains thing. Like, this is, not counting spin-offs, this is the first and only time we've ever had to play as Eggman. And on top of that, it's also the introduction of both Rouge and Shadow. Like, this was their big debut. So like,
Yeah, it was.
Yeah,
It was actually a
right.
really huge deal. I remember like playing it and I was like, oh my God, I'm playing as Eggman right now. Never in my life. And I'm not talking about like a racing game or something either. I'm talking about like actually playing as Eggman. It's like,
Right.
this is crazy. Oh
Mhm.
my God. And then, of course, obviously, you get introduced to Shadow the Hedgehog, and he plays very similar to Sonic, but like just the minute I got to play as him, I was like, "Holy crap, this guy is so awesome!" I'm like, but he's evil, but because I'm a pro good guy type of guy, but I'm like, but he's awesome. Although I did like some villains, growing up. But anyways, that's another story. But I was just like, yeah,
Excuse
I'm
me,
a Shadow
Shadow's
fan.
not evil. He's
I'm a
just
Shadow fan.
he's an anti-hero. I just wanted to point that out. Just no.
And then I met Rouge, and I was just like, whoa.
Yes, my favorite
girl.
character when I was going through puberty.
Oh, and here we go.
Whenever I think of
You
Rouge,
know,
I
I
just
had the best juggle.
whenever I think of Rouge, I just think of a
Remember-
aggressive saxophone.
Aggressive sex.
Is that another sound? Is that another sound I gotta get too?
Yes.
Yo,
You know, can we talk
For-
about
for
her
those that
amazing?
don't-
Can we talk about her amazing jiggle
mhm.
physics on her ears?
Ears.
Those ears jiggles
Yeah.
forever.
Funny enough, it's actually another thing I have marked down here on my list. So, did you know the GameCube port broke a lot of physics from the original game?
I did not.
For
No.
which one?
Really?
Yeah,
SA2?
yeah, SA2.
Oh.
There's lost physics and animations from the porting, and every port after that never brought it back. So like on the original Dreamcast, I will say the ears aren't the only thing that jiggle on Rouge.
Oh yeah.
And funny enough, there are mods of the PC port that re-implement those physics.
We're talking about her butt.
Nope.
Yes.
No, heavier in the front.
Yeah,
Do I have to say it? Do I have to say it, Matthew?
sure, go for it.
Do I have to? Oops.
Good.
You got censored.
But even further than that, like every character's ears were actually rigged and animated with physics. If you watch the cutscene of when Sonic first meets Shadow on the Dreamcast, his ears actually
Yeah.
perk up and turn towards Shadow before he looks at him, like he actually picked up the sound of Shadow.
Oh yeah.
And that's not.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah, and
What
that's
about Tails?
that.
What about Tails of the Ears? Did they have any?
Yeah. Like I don't know like the specifics, but like each characters did have like their ears with physics and animations and like little things like that. They kind of got lost with the GameCube port onward.
Where's my
Yeah.
Eggman ear physics at? Damn it!
Does he have ears? I can't picture them for some reason.
I'll say Eggman didn't have physics at all, no matter which port you got.
No.
Nope. Nope.
No.
He's just the Eggman.
Not even his mustache.
Nope.
He's not an animated villain that goes up and down in many ways.
Mhm.
Jiggle. Missed
Eggs
opportunity with the belly.
Eggs don't jiggle.
Chows are also very jiggly
true.
on the Dreamcast version. Like
Oh.
SA1 and SA2 on the Dreamcast, chows are very jiggly, like they're jello.
But then they ported it over, and then they were kind of more solid.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Things broke.
Yeah. That's
Got lost in the code.
which that's the interesting thing. Both Adventure 1 and Adventure 2, every time they port it, more things break and more glitches appear. Like every time they port it. It's like the code's outdated and like the tech just can't handle it for some reason or something like that.
Yeah.
They need to bring in people to fix that, because in case another port ever does happen. Which speaking of which, I'm hoping that with the GameCube app being added to Nintendo Switch Online, like Sonic Adventure 2 was the biggest selling third-party game in the Nintendo GameCube's catalog, if I remember correctly. Like, how can you not put that on there eventually? That version of the game, like,
Yeah.
come on.
Heck, that game gave the Sonic franchise a huge resurgence because that was a lot of people's first Sonic experience.
It really
Yeah.
was.
Yeah, absolutely. And then I always say, like, especially when it came to Heroes and Sonic X, that combo breaker, they came out like almost the same time. Well, I might be a little off on my dates, but anyway, Sonic X and Sonic Heroes, like, they were such a powerful combo because they were being promoted so heavily in the early 2000s.
Mhm.
It raised like a whole generation of Sonic fans.
Mhm.
Let me double check that though. Like Sonic X release date. That was around 2004. August 23rd, 2003 in America.
Oh,
Okay.
Also want to ask, did anyone ever we already talked about how you could do it with the VMU. Did anyone ever port their Chow to their Game Boy Advance to take care of them on Sonic Advance?
I
never
wish I
got a
had a
Son-
Game Boy Advance at that time, but unfortunately, no. Everything
Same.
was on the GameCube.
I did
I
not
never
have
got a Game
support at
Boy
the time.
Advance. Yeah.
Yeah,
I skipped it and got to a DS, but nah, I missed that era.
yeah. I will say I didn't get the cord for the GameCube until like 3 years ago, and my first and only experience with that cord is Pac-Man Versus, which is a very interesting game to play that with.
Oh,
Yeah, if you don't know how that works, there are 3 players on the TV that play as the ghosts, and you get a zoom-in camera so you can't see where Pac-Man is. But on the Game Boy Advance screen, the person's playing as Pac-Man, and you of course get like the full maze and see where all the ghosts are.
Ooh.
that's pretty nifty.
Mhm.
See, that was a really cool thing about Nintendo. They had the ability to incorporate gameplay optional, right? Between their handheld and then their console at the time, and which was a big step up from the previous years. Like at the time, they had the Game Boy Advance player, and stuff like that too. But yeah, that was really cool era. They were being very creative,
Mhm.
especially in Japan. They had like a card reader, some other cool devices you could hook up to the Game Boy Advance. But
Yeah.
um,
Which
Link's
Tricks?
Towards Adventures.
Yeah. Which Trixie, I think weren't you there when we got to try out Pac-Man Versus at my place?
No, I don't think I was.
Dang.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, I wish I was, but I don't think I was there. Sadly.
Darn. But there was a lot of interesting tech that just kind of got lost to time with Nintendo at the time. But it's also because while their consoles were cheap and accessible, they had way too many accessories that didn't work exactly the way they were intended.
It's like they really threw things at a wall.
Yeah.
It was like, all right, let's give it a go.
Like the flippin' e-reader,
Let's see if this prints money.
to properly use an e-reader for like the secret levels in like Mario 3 or Animal Crossing or stuff like that, you needed 2 Game Boy Advances, an e-reader, a link cable, and then the game that supported the e-reader cards.
Oh God.
Yeah. So
Okay.
Jeebus, you needed everything.
yeah.
Nintended. Johnny says in chat, Nintended. Or is it? Am I reading
Nintended.
that right? Or is it Nintended?
I think it's Nintendo dead, like dead.
Like I think it's supposed to be
boy.
intended.
Nintendo.
Oh, Nintended.
You get
Okay.
it. You get it. You get it.
It's been
Yeah.
You got it.
intended that way.
Ooh. Which little fun fact. The current port of Sonic Adventure 2. Someone discovered recently if you can manage to get the camera inside the Chow monitor in the Chow Garden, it's still modeled underneath to look like a Game Boy Advance. Like the Game Boy Advance assets are still in the PC port, just hidden away from the player.
I
They just
heard
moved
about
it.
that.
That's funny.
Yeah,
I'll bet there are mods out there where you could actually restore that.
there are.
Oh, for sure.
Heck, there's mods out there that restore it to the original VMU model from the Dreamcast.
No freaking way.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I believe it. I mean, if they could make Sonic Adventure DX, if they could make a version of it where it feels more like the Dreamcast version, which is how I prefer to play it, they have to have similar for Sonic Adventure 2. That just makes sense.
Yeah. I would say the differences between the current port and the Dreamcast version are not as significant as Adventure DX. But it is still a little different. Like I said, the physics are off. Some glitches in GameCube are not in Dreamcast because it's a little more polished.
Yeah.
Also in the Dreamcast version, you can drown Tails in the Chow Garden.
I
Yeah.
remember.
Wow.
Yeah, so in,
Why is
Had it
that
coming.
this way?
yeah, so in the Dreamcast version, the water does actually go up to Tails' muzzle, and it is high enough that you could actually drown him in the Chow Garden. However, in the game,
So it like triggers his death sequence
Yeah.
animation.
yeah, it actually
Oh, the
triggers
muzzle.
it.
All right.
So what happens
That's
when you die
funny.
as Tails in the Chow Garden? Like, do you go back to a certain position in the Chow Garden? What happens?
You lose your life, and then you just walk back into the Chow Garden like normal.
Oh my god!
I wonder
That's
if it was just
beautiful.
he just fly down from the heavens.
Yeah,
Like in Sonic 2 and 3 and all that, you know.
yeah. Which they fixed that in the GameCube port onwards. They like raise the floor a little bit so Tails can't drown. And the reason for that is, if you read information on the Chow Garden, it's supposed to be a sanctuary that's not dangerous at all. So Tails being able to drown in the
Whoops.
flood of water is not exactly.
Challenge accepted. Challenge accepted.
Yeah.
Challenge accepted.
Wait, isn't Sonic seen face flat in the water in that one Chow
Yeah.
special during Christmas? He's
Yes.
like, he's not actually dead, right? But I mean, still, you know, he's like, he's done.
Yeah, I mean, funny enough, that is a reference to his drowning animation in Adventure. He does drown like that.
Yeah. No kidding. Jeez,
Ugh.
good
That's
times.
hilarious.
I enjoyed the Chow Gardens. I actually did right before I was a VTuber, I was trying to figure out ways to implement my character to my streams. Before I realized, flipping VTubing would do that. I actually commissioned Milodo to make a model of my old look.
Milo.
Yeah. And I actually did weekly streams where I did the Chow World Extended mod, and I actually learned a lot of interesting stuff in the Chow Garden outside of the mod. Like, there's a lot I know about the Chow Garden now.
I know. I should have you with me whenever I do my Chow and Jill streams. Like for real, Matthew. You could probably help me do some crazy things on there.
I probably could. Like, here's an interesting thing. Did you know that? You'll also understand why I find this slightly annoying given my streams. In the original Dreamcast version, there's a pink Chow egg. It is removed from the GameCube port onward.
I heard.
Yeah.
Why would they do
What,
that?
really?
Yeah.
Yeah, there is an actual pink Chow egg in the Dreamcast version.
Yeah. I think it was
Sorry.
like some sort of like texture glitch or something like that. And instead of just them going in and fixing it, it's like, just trash it.
Sega being lazy.
Let's cut corners.
Yeah.
Yay.
What's funny is I think the shiny pink Chow is still in the game. It's just the regular pink Chow.
Right. I think
Oh,
I
wow.
remember seeing the shiny pink Chow.
Mm-hmm. Which, you know, I have Suki, and I can never recreate Suki in Adventure 2.
No.
Oh.
I mean, you could always pay somebody.
I could-
You know.
I could mod it. Because there are mods that re-implement the Chow egg, so you can get the pink egg through modding.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Mhm.
Yeah, I've seen some people use some really interesting mods for their Chow Gardens for their live plays. I know that I think like Shadow Kun and Chowdy are two examples of people who've played it and have some interesting mods added to their versions.
Yeah. Which, speaking of Chow Garden, this was also the debut of Chow Karate.
It was.
Karate.
Oh yeah, I played that a little bit one time. I remember playing that. Maybe I watched Shino stream. I don't know.
It might, I remember you watching it.
Stealing
with me,
your
yeah.
experience. Yeah, I'm just, you know what? I'm stealing your experience. I lived it through you, and that's what I'm thinking of.
Look at it.
I like that.
Look at this hedgehog over here, like red in my tailcoats, mother.
I know, right? People,
I'm kidding.
let me
I'm
tell you.
kidding.
No. It's true. It's true. Shino they've made me who I am. Let me be very
Have
clear.
I?
You know? Yes, it's no joke. You know, just like Trixie behind me. Like, let's be clear.
Mm,
Who are the real talents in Team Starlight? Not me. I'm just here for like moral support. I'm like
Too bad.
when I'm in the back of the line in Mario Kart and bringing up the rear, and I'm like, I got you guys. Don't worry.
Yeah, me and Trix are just like, yeah, and then Sora's like, somewhere back there.
I'm getting pummeled. I trip over all the rocks for you first. You guys put me out first, so I get all the booby traps and stuff. You know how many like Vietnam foot traps I've fallen into? Jeez, it's not good. Not good. Anyway,
Have you have you ever had a chow die?
No, I would never try to let my chow die, but I have had my chow actually taken from me and transferred to another garden without my know-how.
I remember you telling me
Right.
this.
Oh, I think I
Yeah.
remember this story.
Have I ever
Oh,
told you
share
this
it.
story, Aurora?
Ari?
Aurora? Ari?
Yeah,
I
Ari.
think they got up and went to go get a
They're on
snack.
I think I
pause.
stepped away for a second.
Okay.
Ari.exe has stopped working.
Yeah,
I could slap her to see if she's awake, but my hand only goes towards Sora's face.
Yeah.
I mean,
When you
I
and
think-
Chow.
I mean, since you guys know, I mean, I don't have to say what it is. But if chat wants to say it, I can.
What was
say
going
it.
on?
Trixie wanted to tell you her sad story of what she witnessed through the Chow Garden as a kid.
Yeah,
Did
did
you
I ever
wait-
tell you about that?
We've never discussed Chow things now.
Okay.
Welcome to Trixie's Traumatic Chow Trauma, episode 1.
Can I take one guess?
Yeah, go ahead.
Did a Chow die? Because I heard that happened.
Funny enough, I just asked that.
Alright, what is it?
No, I didn't have a chow die, but I did care for my chow a lot. And during this time, my little sister, she was only like 2 or 3 at the time, she wanted to play the chow garden too. So, we let her play. And one day we actually came back, and the one chow we were actually, raising and whatnot to fight in the karate and, races and whatnot, their name was Champ. We couldn't find them anywhere. We're like, where the heck did they go? And so we look for them, in the thing, just to find out how, all our chow in the garden. No Champ. We go up to the hero garden. No Champ. And we're like, where did he go? And we asked our sister, who just form sentences. And we're like, where did you put the chow? And she showed us. She actually grabbed the chow and she put them right where the advanced Game Boy was. And we're like, oh no! Yeah.
I can
And
hear. I have not heard the music in years, but I can hear it in my head.
yeah,
For the
so
eternal screaming.
yep. So she actually sent the chow to another garden along with a few others that we were missing. And we were so upset. And our mom heard us, talking to our sister, like, why would you do that? And our mom's like, don't get mad at her. She doesn't know any better. So we were kind of distraught. And so we just decided, you know what, we're just gonna raise another chow. This time let's unlock the dark chow area. And so we did. We got a chow strong enough to go down to the dark chow area. And when we went down there, lo and behold, Champ was there, and a few other people were there too. All the other chow that we raised that she threw in the advanced Game Boy. So we were
Lucky.
wondering, how in the world did that happen? And we were just like counting our lucky stars that Champ didn't go away. And we're just like, from now on, when we let our sister play, she plays on another file.
Yeah, he didn't lose your
So-
Chow. He just literally went to
Agreed.
hell.
Yeah, he literally went to hell and we saved him.
So let me
It was a
let me
rescue
tra-
mission, basically.
let me trace the story back a little bit. So when it went missing, you had the Dark Chow thing unlocked or did
we
not?
did not. We did not.
So
We had just the hero chow garden area unlocked and the normal chow area unlocked. We never thought we would have the dark
And
chow area
and
unlocked.
then it appears in dark. That's so confusing. Or am I just not understanding Chow Garden logic here?
Because you unlock the chow gardens when you eventually get like a hero chow, you unlock the hero garden area. If you have a
That I
dark
know.
chow, you unlock the dark chow area. Well, me and my brother only had one chow, that we were taking care of that eventually became a hero Chow, we didn't have a dark Chow. So we eventually told ourselves as soon as Champ was gone, we would just, open the dark area and see what it was like. Because, we wanted to unlock that area. So we did, and that's where we found all our missing Chow. That's where our sister kind of took them and put, when you go to that, that horrible music that plays that makes you so sad and not want to let your Chow go away. That's where all the Chow were going. They were going to a faraway nearby garden. It was literally hell.
I would say the dark garden terrified me as a kid too. I always thought something would jump out at me in that garden.
Aw.
Yeah, see, I was prepared for that because I don't like horror movies. So, but what of horror movies I have seen, that's what it prepares you for. It prepares you to be jumped out at by random stuff. Whether it's you open your cabinet, bam, raccoon, okay, or a demon. It's same difference, really, truly. But we all know that, or under your bed, or in your bathroom, or the toilet, like things pop out of things.
Yeah.
Yeah, like snakes.
Snakes.
The ghosts in Pumpkin Hill.
Also, when I was at Sonic Expo last year, someone actually was selling a T-shirt with the artwork of the Chow saying goodbye with the little knapsack.
Oh no!
I was like, that is terrible. Why would you make that? I want to buy it.
That,
I wasn't
that,
on a budget last year. I would have bought like 3 of them and handed them like 2 of them out.
by the way, that knapsack actually has a name. It's called a bindle.
Oh, a bindle?
Oh, I didn't know it was called.
I've
It's
never
called
heard
a
that before.
bindle. Yeah. Yeah,
Oh.
that's what a hobo in their bindle. That's what it was supposed. That's what it's called.
Huh.
So
Interesting.
now you
Dang.
know what that knapsack is called. It's called a bindle.
Yeah.
A bindle.
Bindle.
Just have that
A
song playing
bindle.
when you have to give your kid really sad news.
Mm,
Just grandma dies, you just play that song while you just explain the concept of death to them.
yeah. Which, since we're talking about how dark and sad it is, what are your thoughts on the story and kind of how dark the story kind of gets? Like, outside of Shadow the Hedgehog, this is one of the darker stories for the games.
It's a bloody good story. Like all around, the story of Shadow the Hedgehog and the events leading up to it is a great story. I mean,
Right.
other than other than mistaking Sonic for Shadow the Hedgehog, like what?
Yeah.
But other than that, well, that's
Get me
another
started
topic.
on that. I will fucking go off for like an hour on that.
Well, all that tells me is Gun is run by a bunch of idiots.
Yeah.
But
Let me segue for like 20 seconds. Amy in 06 confusing Silver Precise. That bitch is blind.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
That's another thing we'll talk about later. So besides the obvious blindness, I mean, Sonic Unleashed, Werehog Sonic, although technically that was Sonic, but that's a whole other thing. Anyway, but story-wise,
Oh, got it right.
like the whole story, the events, everything leading up to it, always so intriguing to me. Like just to see the events and everything that led up to it, the tragic story of why Shadow was the way he is with his memory loss, and the loss of Maria triggering his revenge, up until the big cataclysmic event up at the Ark, where Gerald Robotnik is revealed to have had this plan that was set in motion for the last 50 years to end humanity because of what happened to his granddaughter. And oh, it's insane. It's absolute insanity what they did with it. And then, of course, leading up to that amazing final battle with Super Sonic and Super Shadow, going into the ending sequence where Shadow sacrifices himself, and where Shadow the Hedgehog technically died until the power of until fan power brought him back to
And
life
that's
in
a
the next
big
game.
point.
Like
by the
all in
way.
all,
Right.
it's a very solid, it's a very good story. It's not a perfect story, but it's a really good story. And it's definitely one of those things about the game that I love so much is its story. When it comes to me playing video games, like, yes, I'm playing the game, good mechanics and everything, but I also love a good story too. And its story captivated me. And I can't tell you how many times I felt sad and felt so moved at the end of that game and everything that Shadow went through. Like it's beautiful. It's great storytelling. It's good character development. It made me fall in love with all of those characters, Rouge, meeting them for the first time, I fell in love with them because of how well told the story was. It was great.
Hmm.
Agreed.
It's a really good
I
story.
I agree with your words.
I think one of my favorite things with
I
the story. So a lot of people always talk about how, like, Sonic's personality is kind of all over the place, especially in like modern games and comics.
right.
Well, I've not too been. I'm personally not too big on that kind of discourse of how the characters are written. Adventure 2 is one of my
Mhm.
favorites, because it's honestly a way I feel like Sonic needs to be written more. Where at first, he is his silly self. He's constantly cracking jokes and making fun of Eggman and all that. But like towards the end of the story, we actually start seeing like a more down to earth part of him, and he starts like taking things more seriously. Like when he thinks he's about to die, he gives Tails and Amy a proper farewell. And then when he looks at the fake emerald, he's like, I think I can do this, but is it gonna work? Like he's not sure of himself that he can get out of that alive.
Yes,
And I like that. I like that.
that's a big moment.
Yeah, I like when Sonic can hit his breaking point like that. Because it shows like, him being the hero, overcoming all odds, doing the best he can.
Like, you think
No,
about
I
that
I
for a
agree.
second.
Mhm.
Sonic could have actually died right there. Eggman could have won
Yeah.
right there.
Like it was just dumb luck that a fake emerald managed to let him use Chaos Control, a move he never used before that point.
I know, and it was kind of an accident that Tails revealed. Tails slipped that the emerald was fake, and so Eggman, of course, didn't think about it. Was like, haha, you're due, bam. He didn't realize that that fake emerald was gonna get Sonic out of there, and eventually kept him alive. Which thank goodness that it did, because Sonic and Eggman ended up having to work together in order to stop the events of the arc from happening. Because I mean, Eggman wants to take over the planet and rule it. He doesn't want to destroy it.
Mm-hmm.
Which he's so bad at, by the way. He constantly is screwing himself over potentially, and then he has to work with Sonic to correct it. End rant. Okay, yep, continue.
I actually like that though, because it does show like
Trixie, I
Eggman's
think,
got
was
like
going to chime in.
standards.
Right. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I think Trixie was chiming in. I agree.
What were you gonna say, Trixie?
Okay. I was just gonna say about the story. You start out usually with the hero side. You're all for the fun, the adventure, the jokes, and you go to the more serious side. You go to the other part of the story where it's not as lighthearted, where it's a lot more heavier, where it's more in depth of what is actually going on. Like what is their objective? Why do they make Sonic and Tails and Knuckles and Amy go through such hardships? Why do they do what they did? And you found out that there's so much more going on than you first thought. And as soon as those two forces collide, I think it's very welcoming to see that you had another story to play where everybody was involved and everything kind of comes together wrapped up in a bow where you just feel amazing at the end. It's just like you played both sides, you got an idea, kind of like how it is in real life where you just need both sides of a story before you can actually
Mhm.
play the end and see the conclusion to its final part.
Mm-hmm.
And in a way, I feel Sonic Adventure 2 kind of played that off really, really well. No one was really an enemy on both sides of the fence. They were both trying to make their own goals come true, but they realized that there was a bigger goal in front of them that was actually surviving. So I thought it was a great ending, knowing that they could go on to the next day and actually have another adventure despite what had happened then.
Mm-hmm.
It was just like it prepped you up for something more. And I don't know if you felt it, but at the end credits, I felt sad, but I also felt invigorated to play again or play something, that was going to come up next. It was like Sonic just made me feel excited.
Mm-hmm.
And same with every character in that game at the end. It's like you just felt this overwhelming sense of I want more. What else is there? Where can they take it from here? and we got it. We got the new games that came out, and what did everybody want to do? They all wanted to play another Sonic Adventure game.
Hmm.
When it was like, where's the next Sonic Adventure game? And eventually we got, you know, we got what was it? Shadow the Hedgehog, Heroes, and
I think it was
eventually
Heroes then Shadow.
Yeah.
yeah, it was Heroes then Shadow, and we also got Sonic Unleashed later on. And I think
2006 too.
2006, yeah, 2006 was
Yep.
first, and then Unleashed. But everybody kept asking, "Where's Adventure 3? Where's Adventure 3?" And it was just like, it just made that big of an impact.
Hmm.
They wanted to play more stories. They wanted to play more point of views. And I still remember watching Penny Arcade back in the day saying, Sonic Adventure 2 is the best Sonic game where you don't just play as Sonic. I'm like, oh, ouch.
Yeah.
Ouch. That's a big burn right there.
It definitely left a big impact. Especially, like, I guarantee the developers, like, at the time had the thought that this was going to be their last Sonic game. Because it's honestly even a miracle that Sega became third party, because they were ready to go belly up and just not be a business anymore.
Right.
But it was one of the heads of Sega at the time who literally donated all of his money directly to Sega to keep the business afloat and move on to third party.
Wow.
Right. Well, that was, people forget that was a dire time for the company too. And one of the, they had to exit the hardware business and they had to
Yeah.
become just software, and they had to work with companies like Nintendo and Sony, especially, that they all kind of had bad blood with, to some degree. Like, yes, it was the console wars and they were kind of at each other's throats to some degree, and but they all knew it was, it was business, and so Sega was able to, really pull it together, and like they did everything that they could to get the cost just right to be able to produce the games that would get them out of that situation. And they kind of they for the most part they mostly did, especially with other IPs that they took on at the time, like Hatsune Miku and Alien, I believe, were big IPs that they kind of took on in the late 2000s that helped get them more money and stuff in their pockets. But yeah, that was a pretty crazy time too.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, but as far as the crap, the story, I'll throw my 2 cents out there.
Yeah.
About Adventure. As far as like, so I like the story. Like I think it was like one of those times where it was almost ahead of its time, and it was not something people expected from Sonic and his friends.
Mm-hmm.
So when you put in elements like death of, Maria, spoilers, or Shadow, spoilers, Maria.
Well, for a game that's older than most of Twitch chat, sure.
Oh God, there it is. But you throw in elements like that, and the all right, is Shadow this evil thing? No, he was burned, and he was out for blood for what they took from him, and if you got in his way, that was it, and uh you know so the story, though, again, I really feel like it touched on themes and everything that um some people didn't understand at the time, and I don't even mean like a younger audience. Again, I kind of think like there was an audience that were like, wait, this is Sonic, what are we doing here?
Mm-hmm.
What's going on? But it really goes to show that the love of that adventure game really, transcended, because immediately we find out Shadow, well, not immediately, I mean, but we find out pretty quick Shadow's going to be in Heroes because he was so popular. But Trixie mentioned people want Adventure 3, Adventure 3, Adventure 3. And and people did want that adventure game. And to that I say, like, I think we did get Adventure 3 in the form of like arguably both Heroes and Sonic 06, because, well, you know, X-Nay Heroes. Let me scratch that. 06 though plays like an adventure game. You have hubs, you have multiplayer character select, and yes, it's Shadow, Silver, and Sonic perspectives, but you also get to dip your toes in with Tails, Knuckles, Amy,
Amy,
and so
yeah.
yeah, Omega, and then
Blaze.
maybe Rouge? I forget. Who?
Blaze.
Blaze. Oh yeah,
Dare you
Blaze.
forget Blaze
Blaze.
in my presence?
Yeah, poor girl had to sacrifice herself. You know, so we got, like, that was an adventure game. And I almost wonder sometimes if they hadn't intended it to be a quote unquote reboot of the series at the time, maybe it would have been named that, you know,
Mhm.
something adventure-esque, right? You know, but you know, but if we fast forward even now, literally Izuka just came out and said, like, look guys, we could make these games again, but it would just be like it's the same cost involved in making a brand new game with a new original idea and everything. So, you know, I think if they wanted to do an adventure style game again, now's a good time, but they're not going to call it adventure. You know, the only reason, probably one of the biggest reasons, and this is just my theory, is because marketing wise, it's, you want to, like, they don't want to go backwards, and that's a big theme in Japanese companies. They don't like to go backwards. Like, look at Final Fantasy. People were begging, like, Square Enix to do Final Fantasy 7 remake for like two decades, right? And they're like, guys, no, we don't want to do it. We don't. And then they finally caved and they did it because, you know, whatever. So they, like, Japanese companies like Sega, they generally don't like to go backwards, you know. Now Sega has kind of moved away from that mentality, I think, because they gave us a 2D sprite game with Sonic Mania, and they've given us, you know, Superstars and some other, you know, classic oriented titles like that, you know. But going back to the story though, just every bit and piece, it's not perfect, but it comes together and culminates in, like you guys mentioned, Sonic becoming a hero, trying to use the Chaos Emerald. Even though it was fake, he's like, I gotta do this, I gotta try, or it's over, game over, right? Or my friends are gonna, what about my friends? You know, all these thoughts are probably going through his head. Um, you know, and even Shadow seeing what Sonic and his friends had and realizing, wait, maybe going about this maybe not the right way. And I instead of avenging Maria, I need to honor Maria. And that's what always gets me with the story, is these, you think you know these characters going in, and then they show you sides of them that you don't expect. And that to me, that was very powerful in the game. And again, that was me going from like 96 3D Blast jumping to, like, you know, Sonic Adventure 2 battle in 2001, you know. So um yeah, good times.
Mhm.
Good times.
I do think funny enough, I think the next this is hugely speculation. I think the next mainline Sonic game will be adventure inspired, but with the Frontiers gameplay. That's only because, like,
I think you're right.
that's only because, like, you know, the director has stated, like, you know, he does want to implement the multiple characters again. And I think with, like, the
Yes.
DLC of Frontiers and Shadow Generations, that gateway's a little more open now.
Yes. And I agree that that's something that they should do.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I mean, you know, because yes, we all love Sonic. Like, don't get me wrong, it's Sonic the Hedgehog. We love him so much, but you know, but Sonic has so many different characters with so many different personalities, and each one of those characters touches a different soul in different ways. You know, there are characters that people relate to more than others. So yes, we should have more characters that people should be able to play in the mainline games and not just read about them or just watch them on the screen. You know what I mean?
We
Mm-hmm.
need to play as them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
And the one thing is, what I'll say on that is I want to play as other characters too. However, if they're going to do that, they need to, like, I don't want to play a game as Sonic and then switch to a character that now I need to change how I play everything and relearn the controls. Like, oh crap, I have to play this way or this way or this way now because it's this character or that character, etc. And what I mean is, in Sonic Adventure, well, well, Sonic Adventure 2 as well, obviously. One of my hangups was I want to play Sonic. Okay, cool. I can play a Shadow. That's fun because it's the same gameplay. But I got dragged down when I had to do treasure hunting. And this is
Yeah.
just my opinion. I know some people like that stuff, and
Yeah.
that's cool. Exploration is fun, and that's a major thing of Sonic's gameplay, right? But it was boring to me to do that as a teenager. And then but it wasn't as bad as having to play as Eggman and Tails in Mecha. And again, that's me. That's just me. I didn't appreciate those gameplays. So Sonic and Shadow had the only 6 levels between them, like 3 each, that you could play action stages for them. I believe the count was, and then the other ones are 9 between all the other ones. So I'm like, why am I playing this Sonic game and he's the minimal, like the least amount of gameplay that I get in this? And that's where I think they went wrong in that sense. So what I want to see is, if you're going to give me multiple characters, you got to do it like the classic era. When you played Sonic 2, Sonic 3, Sonic 3 and Knuckles, whenever you played as anyone other than Sonic, you were still going fast. You were still jumping the same height except for Knuckles, which was, that whatever. But yes, Tails had flight, Knuckles had gliding and climbing. That's cool mechanics to add to a character, but I like don't make me relearn how to play the game. And Frontiers tried to implement those characters, and I think that was really cool. But oh my god, the characters were like so different from Sonic, and I'm just like, what am I doing? I think Tails didn't even have a homing attack. You couldn't even attack characters, or maybe it was Amy. I don't know which, but it felt weird. So I want to play as different characters with their own stories, but you gotta stick to the core gameplay and then just add additional mechanics, i.e., Knuckles can dig, climb, glide. Okay, cool. But everything else has got to be like the same. But again, that's me. That's just me. It's just me. It's just me. I don't know. How do you guys feel about it? Do you want like drastic, like take Adventure and Adventure 2? Like when you played it as a different character, it was suddenly like, kind of jarring at times, depending on who you chose.
But that's what made it fun, was I could play a different
Okay.
experience. And, you know, despite people being upset about what Amy had to offer, I enjoyed her story and enjoyed using her Pico Pico hammer when I was playing her stages. And I wanted to play more, but we only had a select few with her.
Yeah, well,
If
same
there's
here, by
any,
the way. Yeah, Amy was great.
if there's any, I like Sonic stages are fun. I love Sonic stages in Adventure 1. But Tails, I love Tails stories where he wasn't, like chasing Sonic, where he was actually trying to strike on his own,
Mm,
even back then. And, just the part where he's just like, I can do this when he's facing Eggman by himself was like huge character growth. And I really liked that. And, just like every character you play, you saw a new story. And I love that because Sonic may be the title character, but with it, it came with much more adventure, much more story to tell. And, even since back in Sonic 2, you know, on the Genesis, if
yep,
you wanted to play as Tails, you could experience what it was like to play as Tails. If you wanted to play as Knuckles, you could experience what it was like to play as Knuckles
and
and
different routes.
have a new
Yeah.
thing. Yeah.
Yeah, and
So
that's the thing. I agree with you. I'm just like, don't drastically change the gameplay terribly, but like you mentioned with Amy, they added the Pico Pico hammer, and that was a cool mechanic, and it wasn't jarring to me, So
yeah.
just to be
So
clear.
just like give us fun mechanics with, with things. I mean, I think a lot of people tend to focus on, oh, we need we need to add this, we need to add that, and just make
Keep it
mechanics
simple.
fun. Yeah,
Yeah.
keep the main thing in a game is, do the mechanics work? Yes. Can we add more to the mechanics and make it just as fun or even more fun with
hmm
other, things? We can, but why would you want to do that? It's just well, to make it interesting,
Yeah.
So,
Well, I think people
It-
misunderstood after Sonic 06. Everyone freaked out, like, all because the controls weren't great for a lot of the characters. It was just there was some half-baked stuff for a lot of the characters, and they're like, if you guys can't do this right, don't do it. And then it felt like Sega misunderstood what we were trying to say, and then we lost out on characters for like 15 years, give or take.
I do hope that the new Sonic Frontiers we do get to play as these extra characters, and have similar play styles, but also some different mechanics and routes and things that each one can take. And I would like to see that adventure style play in this new game with each character. And also, personally, on a personal note, I want to see more of my girls. I want to see my girls
Yeah.
get major treatment in this upcoming game. Obviously, I mean, especially Amy. Amy's on the rise and has been on the rise for a minute, and I want to see more for her. Like, I really do want to see more development of her. I want, and let's see, as far as our guys, Tails, like we saw in Frontiers, where Tails, wants to set out on his own and kind of do his own thing a little bit, and be back to tell
Mm.
Sonic all about it. Make this the game where it happens. Make this be it. Let us see what Tails can do. I want more. I want more of that. And I'm hoping that we do get that in this upcoming title. And again, all of this very much based off of what we were able to do in Sonic Adventure and Sonic Adventure 2 with the different characters. I want to see that. It needs to be it needs to become a staple of future Sonic games.
Would you want to see the mecha or treasure hunting return in any capacity, guys?
The treasure hunting, maybe. The mecha, I feel like should be like an optional thing that like Tails or them could do. But I would like to them, like, as far as like Tails, I would like to see them more focused on his like actual abilities and the things that he can do. I mean, yeah, bring in other machines and gadgets and things that maybe he could use. Sure, why not? And maybe bring back the tornado mecha for use. But I want to see more of what Tails himself can do.
Mhm.
Right.
sorry, I saw a gnat.
You're fine.
I was like, clapping.
It's like a solo clap. Like,
Yeah. No, I miss multiple characters. I really enjoyed the Frontiers DLC, being able to play as them. I'm glad some things were
But
fixed.
no, everyone had to whine that it was too much about the side characters and not enough about Sonic. That stupid complaint that took over Sega for a long ass time.
Yeah.
15
Trust me,
years.
I was on the internet back when Sonic 4 came out. That was a very real argument people had. Like, I still remember,
Yeah.
like, when Sonic 4 was announced, it was like, Sonic's gonna be good again, because he doesn't have any of his stupid friends with him.
Oh,
Like, I remember
Would've shoved each one of those people
remember
into a locker.
people saying that. Like, God.
yeah.
And then Sonic 4
It
happened.
was so stupid. Yeah. And then Sonic 4 Episode 2, and then they're like, oh yeah, we got Tails. And then people are like, yeah, we can play as him solo, right? And they're like,
Oh.
no. What?
I did like Amy's gameplay in Frontiers. I liked how she would like ride her hammer like a broomstick.
Yeah, like a magical girl, yeah.
Yeah. I do wish she used her hammer more. Like I know a lot of people are kind of annoyed that the tarot cards kind of took over her entire moveset. I think the tarot cards are fun. Keep them, but like, let her use her hammer. It's cool. It's iconic. It's her hammer.
Yeah, like I agree. Tarot cards are fine, but yeah, the hammer's like her most iconic move. Focus more stuff around her hammer. But being able to flow around with the tarot cards and maybe throw them to do things would still be cool. But yes, I want to say Amy Smash. Let's go.
Yeah, like why didn't we have a down smash move with her? Like missed opportunities.
Mhm.
But it was big experimentation
Yeah.
that they were I guess they were trying to do. So, but the magical stuff was kind of fun. I mean, it was fun, like double jumping and gliding with Amy. I was like, oh yeah, it's cool. It felt fun.
Um,
I have a hot take. Don't make any new characters. Wanna know why? Because they get used once and then they come in stagnant and unused and stale, and then people forget they exist.
Justice for Trip.
good.
Who?
I'm
I
hoping.
mean, are you being an unused character that's gonna get nothing for like the next decade? Oh yeah, I remember her for like 5 seconds.
Let's hope that we see more of her, because when Trip came out, people really did enjoy Trip. Like Trip
Yeah.
was
Yeah.
Trip was a wonderful addition to the cast. I would like to see more of her.
Mhm.
You go back to the adventure formula where you have multiple playthroughs of different characters, or start giving the other characters side games like you did with Shadow.
Yeah.
I mean, I could see that happening. Like, I think
get,
I
like-
discussed this with. Oh yeah.
I was gonna say, like, give Rouge a stealth game, give Silver a puzzle game, give Knuckles a beat 'em up.
Well,
Like-
it's marketing and everything is going to come into play, and like the popularity and what they can support is going to be. That's a tough sell. Like Amy, maybe could get away with it if it was a very, the budget was right for it and they could take the risk. Especially with Amy being marketed for Sonic Movie 4, in 2027. But yeah, I mean, some of these characters, as much as we all love them, realistically, it could be a hard sell if they could just find a way to incorporate characters in a solid way into these games. They could do it. Like Sega has learned their lessons, I think, this time with some of the stuff that's kind of gone wrong. And so when I think, here's what I'll say: if there's ever a time for us to get in an adventure style game, whether spiritually, literally, whatever, if we get Sonic, Tails, Knuckles, Amy, plus whomever, like now is the time to do it. Now would be the
Right.
time,
Mhm. It'd definitely be.
Hear us, Sega.
But off with real quick with the whole thing with Azuka talking about how they would rather make a new game than an adventure remake. I've actually stated this before. I've actually not been ready for them to make an adventure remake because they're getting the ball rolling again. They're making quality games again, but I want them to keep doing that before they think about touching adventure at all. Because I want Sonic Team to be at their peak when they even consider touching adventure again. Like they're doing good. Let's just keep doing good first before we try and jump on nostalgia and might not reach the point that people will look at it and be like, this isn't as good as it used to be.
I see. Yeah.
Like I'm still excited for the next Sonic game. I've still loved Sonic for the past 3 decades. There's not really been any time I've like faltered off of Sonic. But I'd still like to see them, keep that quality rolling before they think about Adventure 3 or Adventure Remake or anything like that.
Well, I think that's where they're at mentally. They're just like, guys, we just got ourselves financially in a wonderful spot, like, and we're being given the opportunity to just like develop, not on a tight schedule. Like we want to make some cool new stuff, but I mean, still they could, I feel like they need to still try to expand the roster of characters somehow, like, we'll get there. But yeah, I'm with you. I'm with you on that.
Mhm.
I'm with you.
All right. So I guess a couple things I want to touch on before we stop for the night. Did you know this game had DLC?
No.
I think in Japan, right?
No, worldwide.
And they did.
Oh.
No, it was
Wasn't that tied to like kind of like world events, kind of because of like the way the Dreamcast
What-
was.
Wasn't it like? Go. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. You. Go ahead.
I think
Sorry.
like one thing was like on specific days certain things would trigger, or was that only Adventure 1?
That was Adventure 1. Now, Adventure 2, so it was the DLC's only on the Dreamcast, and funny enough, not all the DLC is in battle, in any port of battle. But you could connect your Dreamcast online, and there was like leaderboards and stuff on the original Dreamcast for all the levels and whatnot. But you could unlock multiplayer outfits for all the characters. Now, there's some in battle, like there's the like 100% outfits, and then you also got like Amy and Metal Sonic is playable, Chaos to Call, the Chow and Dark Chow for the mechs.
Was that Rouge outfit a DLC? You know, the one where
No.
the really good. No,
That's her 100.
Those were just unlockables.
That's
all the
that is
player costumes.
that is in battle. That is her 100% completion outfit. That's what you get for getting every A rank in Rouge's missions.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. Okay.
But on Dreamcast, you could actually download costumes. You could download Christmas costumes. You could download Halloween costumes, and they also had some characters that didn't make it into the battle DLC. Like for the mech fights, you could actually get a DLC of playing as Big the Cat in the Eggman mech.
Yo,
Nice.
Wait,
cool.
what?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now,
Hang on, Googling.
yeah. Now, I will say, like, I don't know why I'm saying like that, but the DLC was all free. You just had to connect your Dreamcast online. You could just download it as they came out.
That's cool.
Mm-hmm.
Yikes. Okay.
You found it?
Yeah.
Yeah, Big the Cat in the mech. Oh yeah, Rouge did get a witch outfit, and then Sonic got like a pumpkin outfit.
Oh, I would love to see Rouge's witch outfit.
Let me see if I can find it.
Well, Sega was always ahead of their time incorporating online functions. Like like you could hook up a modem. Or no, I think it had a modem built into the Dreamcast, right? RJ11 jack in the back.
Maybe.
Yeah, either way, they can go online with that sucker. It's so ahead of their time. Sega. They were always trying to push the envelope with their stuff.
Yeah. Also, I put in the side chat for you.
Oh yes.
There she is.
Yep. You know they.
Wow, that is so cool.
Yeah. You know they didn't. They definitely didn't shy away from Rouge at all in this game. And funny enough, I think there was like an old interview around that time where they actually said like, yeah, that was our entire intent was to get some thirsty people interested in the game with a big boobed bat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, obviously, like
No, I'm sorry. Was this?
Oh.
Well, I wanted clarification. This is for Adventure 2 in of itself, or for Battle as well?
This DLC is not in battle.
For Adventure 2.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because
All right.
Sega did push a lot of online on their Dreamcast games, even their single player games. Because even Adventure 1 had DLC you could download that did like Christmas events, New Year's events, and stuff like that. Like it was mostly like small subtle things like, oh, connect Sonic Adventure online, and then when you go to Station Square on Christmas Day, there's a Christmas tree.
I think that's really cute. That's cute.
Mm-hmm. Ooh. And then I guess
wasn't there? I'm looking at it right now, and it looks like there was like a darker version of Rouge, or was that something else?
I think I saw what you're talking about.
Where she didn't
Yeah,
look like she had the white fur. She looked like she had darkish blue fur.
Yeah. I'm trying to
I
think.
think I saw that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that may have been one of the DLC skins now that I'm looking at it. I didn't know how legit that was, but now that
is
I'm...
that one of her... Mm-hmm.
It's kind of like a Batgirl.
It's a leotard.
Yeah. Like a Batgirl type
I think.
outfit.
Yeah. Yeah, there we go.
mhm.
And I think it's real because it looks like the image is from a magazine scan.
Yeah.
If that part of the image anyway.
Hmm.
I can't find anything in game.
All right. And then another thing I wanted to talk about was kind of the silly side of the game. Like, within the past, 6 to 8 years, we have had a lot of funny memes about this game.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, like Eggman's announcement and stuff like that.
Oh,
Yes.
Piss on the moon.
Yep. So that
Moon.
yeah, now that video was big. Like even then, like there's been like tons of memes across like the past several decades with this game. You know, with like the more serious storytelling to like why is the moon complete in every game after this?
Yeah, right.
Don't worry about it.
But funny enough, Sonic X touched on that because like they blew up half the moon, but that Eggman's like, I fixed it.
Listen, if we didn't point it out with Dragon Ball Z, why the hell would we point it out with Sonic?
Well, I was really happy to see them include it in the third movie, and now it's like, yeah, the moon is just busted.
Hmm.
You know,
Yep.
Yeah,
Amy jumps up in front of it. Beautiful moment, by the way. But yeah,
yeah. I did like that they did reference the moon getting sliced up that way, the way they did it.
Oh, that was so funny.
Yeah.
I did it! I did it! And then breaks the moon. Oh, looks at Knuckles and Tails. Look what you did!
yeah, they're like, what?
Yeah. And Knuckles like shrugs like, I don't know, my fault. Uh, Yeah. You want to talk about like do you all know about the hidden Big the Cat in the game?
Yes.
Yeah.
And I love
Yeah.
finding him. It's so fun.
Yeah. Well, you know about him in
How many
the
are there?
you know about him in the cutscenes too, yeah.
I remember in
no.
one cutscene.
So-
towards the end. I don't remember the other one.
So Big, I think Big is hidden in just about every level in the game. Like you could find him just doing stupid things around the level. But in most of the in-game cutscenes, if you hit like certain of the face buttons, like A, B, X, and Y, if you hit them at certain points in cutscenes, Big the Cat will just appear. Like he'll appear.
What?
Like he'll appear in the opening cutscene when like Sonic's taking off a piece of the helicopter to jump down and use as a board. You could hit the face buttons
Uh-huh.
there, and Big the Cat will actually lean out of the helicopter looking at Sonic. Another
How'd I get up here?
another fun part is you know, right before the egg golem where it shows like the door opening and there's like nothing behind the door before it cuts to Knuckles, Sonic, Amy, and Tails.
Yes.
If you hit the face buttons when that door's opening, Big the Cat just falls right in front of the door right there. And then
Neat.
the one that people like is after the fight with Knuckles and Rouge in space. You can do it a few times, but the funniest part is when Rouge looks back at Knuckles when he leaves. You can hit the face buttons,
Uh-huh.
and Big will just like run across where Rouge is staring.
Oh, random.
Yeah,
Okay.
That's beautiful.
there's a lot of funny
I need to
moments
try
in
that
that.
out.
Mm-hmm. I'd definitely like to show them to you at some point. Oh.
I would love to see that.
Yeah, even to this day, like it's funny, like there's stuff that I just have not seen.
Yeah. And then finally,
The more you know.
stages. Are there any stages you would like to talk about? Because this game's got some interesting gimmicks.
Mm.
Mission Highway, the Tails mech level where he's running through the streets at night.
Uh-huh.
I like the music's good, the track's good. I find myself infinitely getting better at this stage every time I run that game on stream.
Mission Hill's probably
my
my
shortcut game on that.
Is it Mission Hill?
Okay.
Mission Street. I was gonna say Mission Street. I think is my favorite mech stage.
Mission
I'm just
Street.
thinking about that stupid show we saw when we came to your house or December.
Hmm. I mean,
But no, like the highway stage is really good. Like nailing that shortcut at the beginning of the stage is also really good. It's really tight, but it's really satisfying.
mhm.
And the gaps you can jump across with like the hover is really good. I don't like the end. Not like the on the way to the thing, but it's like that stupid up climb on the highway just feels like a slog. Like it doesn't last that long, but it definitely ruins the flow.
Mhm.
Other than that, it's great.
The thing I want to bring up is how like the yeah.
What?
No.
Sorry,
Huh?
I was hearing myself. It's fine.
Oh,
Oh, okay.
I was like, huh?
I've
Is
come
it
to
me?
make an announcement. Yeah, yeah.
Mostly like the villain side of the game. A lot of just about every level has a gimmick tied to it. I feel like that kind of throws a lot of people off.
Yes, it does.
Because like you have like the timer of Security Hall, the weird beetle mech thing that chases you in Security Hall, the gravity of Mad Space.
Yeah.
Even like when Eggman goes to the Ark, it's got like the light gimmick where you have to shoot enemies to see where you're going.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
Well, yeah,
For
as far as
me,
gimmicks go. Oh, go ahead, buddy.
Oh, I'm sorry.
It's okay. It's okay.
City Escape is perfect. Love it just as it is. If there is a stage that I enjoy playing the most, it's definitely White Jungle, Shadow the Hedgehog stage. I just love it, from the music to the pacing to everything. Like that stage is just fun to run. It is definitely my favorite speed stage in the game. I'm also one of those few people that actually enjoys what's it called? Meteor Herd. And yes, Meteor Herd is a lot of fun. I can understand the frustrations with it when it comes to emerald hunting, but the one thing that keeps me coming back to Meteor Herd the most is that song.
It's
That
good.
song just it is
It's a good
it is one
song.
of the best songs in the game. It is probably my all-time favorite Knuckles song. It is so good. Its vibe, its lyrics, everything. It is it's so good.
Honestly, the soundtrack of the game is just
But yeah.
phenomenal.
Oh, from beginning to end, every bit of it. Funny enough, I got it playing in the background right now while we're doing this podcast. Yeah.
That's funny.
I want to call the cops and whoever made that stage because I'm sorry when I'm exploring the floor. Why am I getting hit with random meteor every 5 to 7 seconds?
That is one of
when
my
I'm
gripes.
moving.
That is one of my gripes, is like where the meteors are falling. I feel like that sometimes they just happen a little too much, and most of the time it's like, why are they aiming at me like every 2 seconds? It's like I'm just moving over to this one little section. What the frick? It's so hard to get the 100 ring challenge that place because of it.
Yeah.
Most of my freaking clips are from Meteor Herd while I'm with one of my friends. It's just me screaming every time I'm just searching the ground floor and just suddenly, bam, right there. And I'm just like screaming at the top of my lungs.
I love screaming at the top of my lungs.
Yeah, I would say you do.
Yeah. And I would scream often during treasure hunting and mech levels. I mean, look, at the end of the day, City Escape, Radical Highway, Metal Harbor.
Metal Harbor.
I mean, those all are
yeah.
really nice. So I will say, like, there's no stage that in particular really like. Well, I mean, there's maybe one, but most of the stages, there's the music and just theme of the levels are always nice. I like more of the fantasy style ones more than anything, which sometimes it feels lacking a little bit because there's a lot of realistic like city or real world stuff like that, but that's another can of worms. So anyway, but all the levels are pretty good except, and I'm saying this, I'll be honest, part of me is saying it because I know it's gonna upset people.
Do it.
So Yeah, do it. I am not a fan of Pumpkin Hill.
No.
That makes me sad.
You take that back.
Yeah, I take it back. I'm sorry. I retract all my statements.
Pussy. You
Yeah,
pussy.
but no, I just
Stick to your
I don't-
guns.
I'm sorry,
Yes,
Sora,
no-
but your portion of this podcast is over.
or Spinball.
I mean, I'll join Sora on that. Like, so many people hype up Pumpkin Hill, and I'm like, why? And no one gives me a clear answer.
I
Like,
just
the
resonate.
song,
I get it.
that song
Mm.
is just okay.
I agree that, in my opinion, I'm being careful. In my opinion, it's just okay. It's more. Look, it's me. I'm the wrong one. It's a rap. I don't like raps. I don't know why they did that for Knuckles in particular. I mean, I appreciate the diversity that it adds into the soundtrack that way. Like, I think that's cool. You know, and whatnot. Plus, I think Pumpkin Hill is kind of an you don't land the right way, you're dead out in the thick of the level there trying to find the emerald.
You actually can't die on the.
But
You actually can't die from the bottomless pit in Pumpkin Hill.
that I'm misremembering. That's fine.
Well, if you don't
defective
have
memory.
if you don't have mods on, if you have mods where you have harder gravity, you can actually die in
Ah,
Pumpkin Hill.
fun.
Yeah,
alright.
I've seen it.
But
It's like, what? You can actually die here?
It's like, no, mods have screwed you over. But I will say, at the end of the day, the true moment of true peak was the final boss. When you see Sonic and Shadow go super, I was like, oh my god. And then Live and Learn kicks in. I'm like, what is my life? Where has this been all my life? Why? How is this happening? What am I doing? Holy fruit! And it just generations of Sonic fans in that one moment, So
I can wholeheartedly agree with you on that one. I would say probably of all the things that happened in this game, event-wise, the final battle with Sonic and Shadow versus the Bile Lizard, like truly a great climactic battle and a great climactic boss fight. It's so good. Like that is probably the best part of the game right there.
I also want to bring up the White Jungle. I have a very hard nostalgia for because of the music.
Heck yeah.
And funny enough, the reason for that is not because of the game itself. So back in the day, there was a website that Sega ran themselves called Sonic Central, and it was their way of getting news about Sonic out. That was like they announced Sonic X as well as Sonic Heroes, the advanced games and stuff like that. And they even had Flash games that would like advertise it, like they had like a Tetris Sonic Heroes game. But back when Adventure 2 came out, every time you would go to Sonic Central, it would play White Jungle on loop.
Oh, did it?
Mm-hmm.
I've seen archives of that site, but I didn't live it. Like,
I did. That's
in
how
real time.
I found out about Heroes and got it at launch date.
I've
Oh,
visited
wow.
the website a few times. Not often, but I did like remember it when I was at school. Good old computer lab.
I find they still use the name to this day as like their like Nintendo Direct style announcements for Sonic stuff.
And they didn't do it this year.
Years only halfway over. Give it time. I think there was a year they did it in July instead of June. So.
It feels weird when it's not Sonic's birthday because that was like the whole like reason they did it, right?
I think initially, yeah. I think the first instance of it wasn't called Sonic Central, but what was the stream event they did? Was that Sonic Boom? Where they like announced Sonic Mania and Forces and Sonic Boom Fire and Ice?
Wait, like at the convention?
At a convention, right?
Yeah, they did it like a convention, did like a big
I
live stream event for it.
Yeah, that went very haywire.
Yeah.
Yes.
Was that the one where they had like the worst audio they've ever had?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a whole
Oh my
documentary
god.
about about the event. Totino's. Am I right?
Yeah.
Oh no.
You could do it, Sonic. You could beat the
Yeah, I
Totino.
forget
The
what
little
the
pizza
event,
rolls.
the venue was. Yeah, I don't know if it was a fan event or Sega. Sega probably sponsored it either way. I don't know which, but yeah.
Not the Totinos.
You could do it, Sonic. You could beat the
Yeah, so
Totinos.
it was from that day on.
Funny if that buzzing sound is in Sonic
Totinos.
Mania.
I know.
What?
In when you beat the boss in Act 2.
Yeah, when you beat the boss in
static sound.
Studiopolis, it actually plays the static sound from that live stream.
Oh my god, I did not realize.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they did that on purpose. I'm like, that's an interesting sound. Then someone told me what it was, then I saw the actual video. I was like, oh my god, that is so messed up and so awesome at the same time.
I did not know. You see, it's just the little things that just I did not know.
Like, if you know, you know.
That was just a 25th anniversary party that Sega held back in July 22nd, 2016.
That was like 10 years ago.
Yep. That's Mania's almost that
Oh
old.
my god.
That's
Stop
crazy.
making me get
Oh my-
older.
Why's it gotta be this way? Why do we do this to ourselves? Anyway, yeah, true.
Because it's funny.
I mean, you can't. I mean, time moves forward. We can't go still or backwards, you know? So-
Yeah.
If I freeze myself, cryogenically frozen, I will be revived in the future. And then the second coming of Sora can commence.
Oh boy.
Would someone like to join me in the cryo tube?
Sure.
Yeah, Matthew said sure.
There you go.
But yeah, we've definitely shared a lot about Adventure 2 today. There's definitely been honestly a lot more talk than I thought we'd have. But it also kind of shows how how big of an impact this game was. Because people still talk about it to this day in such a high light. You'll get the occasional people being like, "Oh, you only like 33% of the game because 2/3 of it is Mech and Emerald Hunt."
Call me out, Matthew.
I'll call you out all I want. But
I'll fight you.
But like, even this game has left such a big positive impact on Sonic.
It really
Alright,
has.
Oh, for sure.
I could say a few things, but I'm not gonna. It's,
If you're gonna waste your time doing the big sentence, you may as well do it anyway.
Now, you know what the interesting thing is, though, like with Adventure and Adventure 2 is we're getting further and further away from them, that we've got at least one generation where I feel like the majority of them have not played that game, which is interesting to think about.
Yeah.
Right?
right.
Yeah.
Heck, the fact we haven't had any
And I really do
re-releases since like 2010, because 2010 is when we got the PC port as well as PS3 and 360.
Yeah, the HD upscale and stuff. Yeah, I feel like it would be really cool, like if they like a remake would be interesting. But I mean, someday I think we'll get it. Obviously, now is not the time, according to Sega. But I think it'll happen at some point. If nothing else, they need to just they gotta just rebuild the game so it runs really good on PC and all that. Just make a new port of it. I don't know. My brain. More people need to experience it. That's the goal.
Mm-hmm. Ooh, but yeah,
Dolia says they were 27 when Forces came out.
I was 23.
So it's not that far. Yeah, Dolius. Dolius.
You're 27 now. But yeah, any final thoughts we all got on Adventure 2? Any last things we want to share?
Any of you game modders who are really good at hacking the game to make it harder, make the game harder, but don't don't give us another Kaizo situation. Like find a way to strengthen the game. Give us like give us a new version of the game that's fun. I've seen what you do with Mega Man. Do it with this.
I would say if you've never played this game before, I highly recommend Sonic Adventure 2 Battle. It is a great game. It's worth playing. I guarantee you that it will definitely change your life for the better with Sonic. It's that good of a game, and
It is currently on sale for $5.
guarantee it's gonna be one of those games. Oh yeah, that's right. They got the summer sale on Steam right now. So
$5.
Yeah.
if you haven't played it, play it.
$5 buckaronis to play Peak. Take that, Mario Kart.
Yeah.
I mean, if you think about it, it's recommended by a lot of
Matthew.
Sonic fans, and you really have nothing to lose by trying it out. So it's, I mean, if you want an engaging story that'll keep you busy for probably more than 8, probably 12 hours, especially if
Yeah.
you're new, you're gonna enjoy it, especially for $5.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So
Well, the last thing I would say about Sonic Adventure 2 in closing, it wasn't just a sequel to the first one. It was a moment. All right. That game, it dared to be very bold, to blend style with story. And it to leave a mark that fans would carry with them for decades.
Mhm.
City escape and having that fun first experience with it within the first 2 minutes, to the tragedy of Shadow's sacrifice. It gave us more than just gameplay. It gave us heart. It captured the energy of a generation, people, the emotions growing up with that. Even if I was a teenager at the time, it doesn't matter. Okay. But the spirit of adventure that Sonic has always stood for, okay? And even now, years later, its legacy continues to inspire, because in the end, Sonic Adventure 2 didn't just ask us to play, it asked us to feel.
Mhm.
And that's why we still remember. Live and learn.
Hanging on the edge of tomorrow.
Oh yeah, baby!
Amen.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Flipping when the concert ended with Live and Learn.
yeah,
Right.
That was beautiful. Adventure 2 crafted a lot of my friendships growing up. And like even like friends that are like not too big into Sonic now, like still loved Adventure 2. Like, funny enough, I have a friend who kind of fell off Sonic around the time Lost World came out, and he just hasn't done anything Sonic related since because of it. He still went to go see Sonic 3 because Adventure 2 is still one of his favorite games of all time. Like, he was able to look past everything just to see Sonic 3, just because of how big of an impact this game made, and he loves Sonic 3 because of it. So like, it's crazy that like a game like this can transcend its own franchise in a way. What's a fun little information I know is the reason for the storytelling that both this and Adventure 1 had. These games were actually made as an idea of being a Sonic RPG at first. But then they were like, no, we'll take the storytelling aspect of RPGs, but we need to stick Sonic to 3D platforming. That's what he's good at. And voila,
Right.
you get a fun blend. But yeah, Adventure 2, man, what can I say about it in closing? It's good. It's so good.
It's bloody good.
Yeah.
It's what brought you into this franchise, and that's powerful.
Mm-hmm. Brought so many people into this franchise. But yeah, thank you all for joining us tonight. It was super duper fun getting to chat about Adventure 2 with all of you.
Heck yeah, this was a wonderful time. Thank you so much for
Mhm.
having us on the show.
Yeah, which before we
Yeah,
pop
thank you
off,
so much, Matthew.
gonna give you all shout outs. I'll have to do it one at a time. But yeah, would you all like to advertise anything you've got going on? Or just advertise yourself in general?
Miki and Chino actually have something going on Friday.
Oh, yeah?
Yes, we're continuing our playthrough of Donkey Kong Country, the SNES version. Well, it's the only version there is. But yes, we're playing so we're doing that on Friday together. So that's gonna be a lot of fun. Also, I do have a little bit of an announcement that I'm happy to share on a personal level. I just found out today that Unconventional Love featuring Hatsune Miku and Renee Skug is now over 800 views on my YouTube channel.
Aw,
Oh, heck yeah.
nice.
Yeah.
Flippin' go
Yeah,
listen to
so
the song. It's a really good.
Listened.
Yeah, everyone go listen to the song. It's a really good song. Which
Thank
Shino's
you.
even got a few covers as well on his channel, and he is a phenomenal singer. I hugely recommend giving him a
Oh
listen.
my god. Yeah.
Aw, thank you so much. And
That's
there's more,
sweet.
and there is definitely some more music on the way. I have a couple of original songs that I've been kind of slow on, but they are in the works. I also do have some covers that I have been talking to people about working with that are on the way. And then I have another song, a cover song that I'm planning on that I haven't told anybody, not even Team Starlight,
Oh,
about. So yeah, I have a couple things on the way, and it should hopefully be ready hopefully by close to the end of the summer. So I will let you guys know what's going on with that.
heck yeah.
Cool.
In the meantime,
Excellent.
you guys can check me out at twitch.tv/Chino the Wolf. I will be live tomorrow with a Just Chatting stream. So if you guys come by, hang out with me. I got a lot to talk about. So hope to see you there. Woohoo!
And then what I've got going on is pretty much the same. You know, I'm on twitch.tv/Sora Starlight. If you're on my Twitter, x.com/_Sora Starlight _ you can catch me on there every day. I put out good morning posts. I just post inspiring and uplifting messages throughout the day, and I repost anything Sonic, Sega related and beyond, even Nintendo, Pokemon, and even the Donkey Kong Bonanza. That's going to be a big stream coming up later this month.
That's gonna be big.
And I do run my own podcast. Oh yeah, yep. It's a big deal, right? Isn't it, buddy?
Oh yeah, I'm excited.
Yeah, I can't wait. Can't wait. And then lastly, I am running a podcast. That's a podcast. It's called The Sonic Experience with Sora Starlight. And what I do is I have conversations with community members, small and big. I have on my Twitter, which you can also link out onto my YouTube, Spotify, and so on and so on. I got to interview. Well, not. Let me just be clear. It's not an interview. I don't have interviews with people. I have conversations so we can go down deep dives of their memories and experiences that they've had shaped because of Sonic the Hedgehog.
Kind of like what we did here today.
I've talked to G. Yeah, exactly what we did here today. And I do one-on-ones with like G to the next level, Emsbury. I've got Callie Mackin, I got Izzy, and I have a whole roster of people coming up in July. So make sure you stay tuned. So
Yeah,
thank you all. I appreciate the platform, Matthew. Thank you for having me on here
of
with
course.
my buddies Trixie and Chino.
Me and Ari are happy.
Yeah,
Me and Ari are happy to have y'all.
I want to apologize for all the fireworks in my background.
You're
I have no
fine.
control over that.
Honestly, we didn't hear any.
Oh,
So
I don't hear them.
Yeah,
Nah,
neither did
you're
I.
good. You got good noise canceling.
yeah, both me and Ari love having y'all in the cafe. We always love having people on, just nerding out with us.
It's always good to spend time with both of you. You know that.
Mhm.
So.
Yeah. Let's see. Who is live that we can raid? Pokemon, not now. Hoping Pokemon popped up when I opened my phone.
I
Good
see
man,
a
how
few
much money I
people.
spent today on Pokemon.
There's there's this person that's on, but they're playing a Sonic game. Okay, maybe not that person. They're playing a game I don't
No.
like.
Uh-oh.
But maybe I'm gonna be kind and say mine. I know.
Callie
I
Mackin's
don't
playing
like
some
this
Sonic
game.
Mania.
Here, let me
Oh.
show you this person,
Okay.
Matthew. This person is a Sonic fan, real quick. Hang on.
Lay it on me. Lay me on the floor.
Yeah, I think you might like her. She also has a Mobian. She's currently on right now, and she's playing
Sonic Spinball.
Sonic Spinball.
Perfect.
Oh, are you talking about Trick or Sweets?
Yes.
Oh yeah.
I've actually not come across them before, so I'd be down to give them a raid.
Yeah, just tell them we're Mobians. Maybe she might even be kind enough to show her Mobian self her as well. You
Yeah.
never know.
Yeah, before we pop off, our next podcast date should be this upcoming Sunday. Alright, we got confirmation, yeah?
Yes, so I'll talk about that. So we are going to have Dooney, if Dooney's still available, and Brenta. We need to work out the fine details, but it will be on a Sunday. I will be making a Blue Sky post once we have more confirmation, but look forward to that. We don't know what we're going to talk about yet, but we're definitely going to be playing that the next time me and Matthew get together.
Mm-hmm. It's gonna be fun. Should be available? Heck yeah. Sunday it is. Sunday. As long as it's not the 20th. It's the 6th. We're fine. We made it.
Yeah.
I mean, we only plan like 2 podcasts in advance at most.
Yeah.
We do.
Ooh. And also before popping off, Brent Zone, Mystic Combat, Hannah, Sakura, and Kodas Kitten. Thank you all for the follows. Really appreciate that. Alright, let me pass that over. And thank you all for joining us in the cafe tonight. It was super duper fun. Make sure you all take your drinks to go. And from us, that I will be it will be y'all have a good night.
Good night.
Good night, everybody. Bye-bye.